go again, flying out, rifle in hand, catches 1, 2, 3. From the hallway and now from the open door. It just opened up.
25 points, 1 versus 1. Last round, Evil Jester putting some pressure in that doorway, still unable to pick up the EMP, and the ace is gonna go down.
Getting down to 15 seconds. Ash has recovered that EMP, looking to push in. Solo swings out, finds 2. And
Welcome, everybody, to the VRML. We appreciate you all tuning in for this exclusive interview with one of the developers from Triangle Factory. I'll have you introduce yourself first, but really happy to have Triangle Factory offer up the resources so we could ask you some questions about the game.
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Jeroen. I'm the creative director at Triangle Factory. Sorry if I sound a bit weird, I have a cold at the moment, but I'll do my best. So yeah, I basically am in charge of design and visual design, gameplay at the company, and everybody else is doing lots of good stuff as well. But yeah, that's what I do.
We've been working behind the scenes on the gun skin, which we just debuted on one of our most recent advertisements. And I did just want to say, while I have you here, a big shout out to you. You know, you improved what we had sort of concepted to be substantially cooler, in my opinion, and we're really happy with that initial gun concept.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I hope that the players will like it as well. Excited to get them in the game for sure.
Yeah, it's certainly got some great reception on Discord. A big shout out to everyone that was chatting there. We like to see that positive reception. But to focus in on the questions we have for you this afternoon, a bunch of stuff about the game, and this one kind of maybe harkening back to when you started the development of the game. You know, when you were initially creating it, what was, you know, the initial sort of starting process of creating Breachers, and did you expect it to eventually get to this popular of a point?
So if you go back, I think we started with adapting a version of HyperDash towards something that's more, well known, that players know from games like Counter-Strike and Siege. We knew that in VR that was a market that's a bit more interested in those types of games compared to HyperDash, because HyperDash is like the Unreal Tournament or Quake 3. And that's good for people our age, like
yep,
30 to 40 probably.
Yep.
But VR is a younger audience often. So yeah, we saw other games having success there. We knew that we are capable of making good games, and we have a passion for it. So yeah, after HyperDash, we wanted a competitive shooter and something that's different from the ones already out there. So yeah, we made Breachers basically. So I think our first prototype, it was a level that's not in the game anymore, because very different. It was like an office building. We even had breakable glass, but then that's not possible with performance anymore. It was quite close to what we have already without the gadgets, and it's, you know, the attacking and defending was in there, and that proves that it was fun and different enough. So yeah, after a few months of prototyping, we went ahead and started the production of the game.
Awesome. And you said, you know, initially that breaking glass even posed to be a bit of a hurdle. You know, what were maybe some other major hurdles, or one of sort of the major hurdles that sticks out to you when you were developing, you know, all of the elements of the game that is Breachers?
So many things, I would say, because VR is very different from a flat screen game. Then I would say, well, besides performance, but every developer would tell you that. I think design of the gadgets and how they are controlled and how they should work because yeah, you can cheat so much in VR. There's so much more control that you have to block from the player to not hurt themselves and other players.
Right.
Um, and probably the multi-platform approach, because you can play breachers on everything. There's a lot of stuff going on for us to be efficient and launch updates time and time again at the same time for all those platforms.
Yeah, I mean, you just had the PSVR 2 launch come out, and congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
We're really happy to have a bunch of new folks jumping in and getting sort of into the competitive space that is breachers, and hopefully eventually joining the VRML as well, as we are open. That cross-platform capability is really fantastic. And now that we have that PSVR 2 support, I know that was a major milestone for you guys. What's sort of next in line for breachers? We just got a new map. We just got PSVR 2 support. It feels like we've gotten so much with the holidays. It has been a gift. But what's next?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we are doing our best to frequently give nice updates, be it new stuff like mostly new maps, sometimes game modes. So we actually had a meeting today. What's next for this year? Everybody knows about the competitive update already, which we've been working on for a long time. I can't say when we will ship that because it might slip, but it's for quite soon-ish. And that's gonna be a very cool one. We really want to be able to give the players the competitive that they know from those well-established PC games, without having them without having to wait all the time. Because we just work with a different player base, of course, compared to Counter-Strike. No, our design philosophy has always been get people in games as fast as possible. No bullshit. Nobody wants to wait around in VR. So that's our design pillar for competitive as well. We hope that we'll do a good job there. So yeah, we'll see. Super excited for that one. Besides that, of course, we have new maps coming. Maybe new gadgets. Who knows?
Okay.
But I can't promise too much. It's the start of the year.
if I get you with Phil and Martini, they got plenty of gadget ideas for you. Okay, we've had big discussions about new stuff we like to see in the game. So if you need any ideas for new gadgets, they're out there. Lots of folks interested in putting new stuff in. But
yeah. No doubt, and we read all the suggestions, and yeah, we have if you're on Discord, and if you use our Discord, we track all those ideas and suggestions. Every week we go over the best ideas, and sometimes it makes it in the game even. So yeah, never goes to waste if you pitch an idea.
Wow, get to suggesting then, people. I've been getting a lot of ideas from people, so we need to get them to the right space. Go to the official Breachers Discord and submit your ideas there. They have the channels for it. And fantastic news to hear about ranked. I know that people are. That was one of the when I pulled our community for questions. What is ranked? When's it coming? That was kind of the big question. So we appreciate a little insight to there. Can you maybe add on there? Do you foresee any like skins that you could unlock by playing in ranked? Anything like that?
Yeah. So we will work with seasons. And at the start of the season, you'll see what you'll be able to earn if you end up with a certain rank at the end of that season.
Awesome.
So yeah, there's definitely nice skins involved there, and it's all free. There's no battle pass that we're gonna do. It's just ranked and show what you got and play with the people with similar skill levels.
Amazing. Yeah. That's awesome to hear. That's again big news for the community. So I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that and be looking forward to that. Continuing to look forward to it as we eagerly await that addition. The game has continued to grow. We've seen continuous growth in the VRML over the course of this season with new teams jumping in. Do you see, down the line, Breachers reaching the success of some of these games we've talked about, Counter-Strike or Rainbow Six Siege?
I definitely hope so. set that up from the beginning. This needs to be a competitive game. Everything's well thought out. We hope that the community takes the game and runs with it. That we can work together with the community to really make the game that they want in VR. And yeah, that's definitely our hope. That's why not that Breachers becomes one of the biggest VR esports. It's certainly exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, would be super happy to see it grow more and more.
Awesome. And on that note, with the growing number of players and more users getting into VR with the holidays, the new Apple VR headset coming out, there's a lot of hype around virtual reality this year. In particular, how do you plan as developers to keep up with that? Is there any plans for sort of maybe a focus on to anti-cheat or more servers or plans on getting more players invested?
Yeah. So our servers they scale dynamically, which is great because indeed with the holidays we've seen a massive influx of new players thanks to PSVR as well. Then cheating is certainly a concern. We see it as a compliment that some people feel the need to cheat, but let me tell you that it's not smart to do it. We do ban people, and we are actively working on fighting that. So yeah, it's not worth it, guys.
You heard it here first. Cheating is not worth it, and it's great to hear because they're obviously it's like you said, a compliment that people find the need to cheat, and good to hear you guys are combating that stuff. Overall, with the success of both Hyperdash and now Breachers, outside of just this game, what's next for Triangle Factory as a developing studio? Are you working on other stuff you can even talk about? Is that maybe that's off the limits of what we could discuss? But we're curious.
Our main priority is still Breachers this year.
Okay.
However, we will begin prototyping a new concept that's still in the shooter space. I mean, people know us, through Hyperdash and Breachers now. We have more ambition in the VR space, and we want to make an even bigger game than Breachers. What that is, I can't say. It's way too early.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, keep following us, stick around, and yeah, we'll have something to share. Not this year, I guess, because it's still Breachers. So still want to do good stuff with Breachers. But yes, we are working on new stuff as well, of course.
It's hard to really step back and reflect just on how little time Breachers has even been out and how quickly we've released new maps and how far it's come since its launch. And really looking forward to the new year with Breachers and with VRML. We've got a lot of great action this month in January coming up, so do be sure to tune in to all of the live broadcasts over the weekend. It is going to be nothing but pure Breachers esports competition at the highest quality. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you all for tuning in, and a big shout out to you, oh gosh, Jerry. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer these questions. I'm sure the community is super excited to learn a little bit more about what's coming down the line with Breachers and Triangle Factory. And do you have any final sort of shout outs, anything you want to plug that you're doing, your Twitter or anything like that?
No, but follow us on Discord and Twitter for all the latest news, of course. We, thanks to Wesley, we have a great social media and Discord stuff going on. And yeah, I just want to thank the community and all our players. The engagement there is crazy. I mean, that's what made us a success, I would say. And yeah, let us know how we can make the game even better. We will try and do our best there. And excited for 2024 in Breachers. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Really appreciate you tuning in. And again, stop by this weekend for more Breachers action. Welcome, everybody, to the Breachers VRML North American Top 8 Single Elimination Tournament. It has taken 13 weeks of regular season gameplay for us to get here, but we are here. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I have a casting desk filled with a great bit of casters here. We'll have more folks joining in later on in the day for the pre-show. We're going to chat about everything Breachers that led us to this point. And we'll start with you, Gib. How are you feeling this afternoon?
Oh, I'm so excited. I think you know me. I mean, I was watching EU this morning, and it was incredible. I loved watching all of those matches. So I'm excited for what we're going to see here in NA.
There's a lot to live up to say the least. If that's if EU is any bar that we're setting. Heritage, how are you feeling this afternoon?
Man, I actually chose to woke up 7 a.m. to watch the European Championship.
Awesome.
I did not regret it by any chance, because man, some of those matches were close. 1v1s, ties. I believe there was like 2 ties in one of the series. So, that was a lot to take in.
It was a stellar start to the day, but we have a lot ahead of us this afternoon, and there's been a lot that's led us to here. For those that maybe don't know, everything that you're seeing here started with last weekend with the Challenger Cup, where we had 26 teams competing for one of them to advance on to be the team that goes up against our #1 NA seed, Acer. That team was initially Wipeout. They unfortunately have been banned due to unsportsmanlike conduct. We won't commentate on it much more than that. The only thing is that Devour esports take their spot advancing through that Challenger Cup. And I want to talk a little bit about the Challenger Cup because, Heritage, we had some great matches for that NA Challenger Cup. A lot of really close matches I don't think we were anticipating.
Yeah, I think a lot. I mean, in the first rounds, we've seen 0-7s, but I think one of the more surprising moments in Challenger Cup was a lot of upsets.
Yeah.
I think the first upset that was, I believe, caught on broadcast was with me and Bob when we looked at Pantheon versus Ignite. And we seen a clean 7-0 from Pantheon, which I don't think anyone expected within the North American community. And then when we got on later to those, round 4s, round 5s, we seen a lot of more up close and a lot more high stakes rounds, I think.
Man, it was so exciting.
I think the playoffs one, where I think for the spot in top 8 was a good one to watch.
Yeah, it was really filled with some fantastic matches that were all very close. Devour Esports placed second and was, I think, tied for first in round wins, but they didn't, or in points, but they didn't have the same amount of round wins. So Wipeout won. So Devour was right there in that Challenger Cup, if memory serves correct. Of course, there's tons of games getting played, so I could be wrong on exactly the end output there. But we took second place from that Challenger Cup to substitute out first, and they will be going on to battle up against Acer. And I want to talk a little bit about the bracket that we're getting into today, because while the Challenger Cup was certainly fun over the course of the weekend, this bracket, Bob, has a lot ahead of us here. There's a lot of games this weekend.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get some of the best matches, that we have in the VRML here. Taking a look at the first round here, you got Acer versus Devour. That's what we're going to get to shortly. And then after that for today, we have Eternity versus Indomitable. That one is going to be a very, very interesting matchup between those teams. Looking at tomorrow, we've got Aspect versus Formula 3. And then later on in the afternoon, we've got Infinity versus Wicked. So really not a dull matchup anywhere to be spotted on this bracket. And of course, whoever wins, they're going to go to the semifinals. And then next week, we're going to sort out the semifinals. And then on Sunday of next week, we're going to get to those grand finals. But we still got to get through today, and we've got a really, really interesting matchup coming up soon here. So I'm really excited to see, who is going to pull ahead. Just looking off of some of these, these stats here from the team. So you got Eternity, who started off, just purely by looking at their matches. They started off looking really good in this season. And I think towards the second half, later end of the season, they definitely started to have some tougher matchups. Losing to quite a few teams there. Most notable wins towards the second half were against Wipeout and Ignite, but they lost to Acer, they lost to Infinity, Havoc, Aspect. So they've had a tough second half of the season. But meanwhile, on the other end, I think you take a team like Indomitable. It's kind of the reverse of Eternity, where they started off, you know, a little 50-50, but then they had, you know, some really, really nice wins towards the middle of the season, and they've just been on the up and up ever since. They've had a couple of shaky matchups, but ultimately I think people were really keeping their eye on them when they got, you know, they beat Formula 3, and then they, you know, it was a 15-10 game. They almost beat Aspect. They didn't beat Aspect, however. Then they tied Vanguard, and then they beat Vanguard to make it into, you know, to keep their spot in the top 5. So they've had a very, very interesting seasonal progression here, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. So I'm curious to see what we're going to see in the, you know, the Eternity and Indomitable matchup coming up.
Yeah, I totally agree, and you know, we have the interview that will run of both of those teams before their matchup later today. But that is the second matchup that is going to be shown here on stream this afternoon. We do have the interview that I want to kind of focus on there with Penny Packer and that whole squad. I really do love seeing Eternity play. I love chatting with them as a team. They've got a great group of players, and that's something that we don't often focus on when we're in the thick of the VRML, right? You know, but the Eternity squad and Indomitable, both of their interviews super enjoyable for me to dive into, and of course, you know, that Taurus being something that has been really pushed quite a bit by the Eternity side. It's it's always fun to chat with them about their favorite weapons. And of course, with Crimson and Brabadabado, Gibular, you chatted with them over the course of that postseason. And it's always interesting to get an insight into these teams and how they're prepping for these matches, because they've been waiting weeks, sometimes a month plus at this point, for this matchup today, because they've already auto-qualified into this stage. Acer has not played a league match since the week 13, which was at the beginning of December, I think like December 10th. So there's a lot of time that we've had off. I mean, how do you think some of these squads are using that based off of what we've already asked them and chatted with them about?
So you've definitely had, because I think there are some teams that definitely took their holiday break and, you know, they relaxed, you know, and they didn't do, you know, way too much during that holiday break, and that's fine. But then you had some other teams just going through the process, interviewing everybody. You know, you saw some teams that just were working incredibly hard. They had the scrims and they were just on that grind the entire holiday season. So I think it's that point where, you know, if you take it too easy, you might be very surprised about, you know, when you go up against another team. Wow, these people have gotten a lot better than I thought they were. And here, you know, we're starting to lose these people. So, you know, anything can happen going into the finals, but I think it's really interesting to see some of these teams working incredibly hard as they do. And I'm curious to see who's going to pull ahead in some of these matches.
Here, Taj, I want to get your thoughts before we move on to our first matchup of the day on Eternity Indomitable. You know, how do you feel that matchup's going to shake out?
Oh, where do you want to begin? That's the question. We could go over things like strats, map picks, or the overall playstyle. But looking back and, you know, doing a couple of VODs, obviously I'm gonna be resting for a little while, so I'm not gonna be covering that match. But
sure.
I think it could go either way. Yeah, I think it could go either way. I've done a little bit of VOD review on both teams. It does look like they do have a bit of a different play style depending on what's going on around the map. Like if a team wants to, you know, play a lot more aggressive on defense, then I think that is something a lot more that Eternity will do. They'll just rush in without you know, any consideration about losing any of their players. So I think it is just a wild card of strats during that match.
Interesting. Yeah, and to the point, our first matchup of the afternoon, one that we will have you on the analyst desk for, you know, that is going to be Acer versus Devour esports. It looks to me, if you look at the matchup history, you know, Acer is the real threat, and frankly, all of the teams that we interviewed, I don't know, Bob, about you, I think all the NA teams said Acer was the one that they were worried about as, you know, the team to focus on going into this tournament. So what do you think?
You know what shocked me about that was when I was interviewing, I interviewed Aspect, and I asked them, a lot of people were saying Acer is the, definitely the team to beat when it comes to the postseason. What was interesting, they said they weren't worried about Acer. They were more worried about Infinity when they went up against them, because they said Infinity plays in a way, they just completely throw us off. And it was hard to adapt to their play style. And that was one of the answers that really stuck out to me, because you ask a lot of these teams, they say the number one team, Acer, or in the case of EU, Velocity, and that makes them. That makes a lot of sense because they are very good teams. But it was so interesting to see Aspect saying they weren't as worried about Acer as they were Infinity. So I'm it's just a very interesting experience to hear about that, and of course we'll see how far both of these teams make it. Acer, they're just a team. I think the best way to describe it is I joined them at one point for like a mixed scrim, where it was me and a couple of Acer and then some Infinity against the entire team of Acer, and it is just, they're kind of like an overwhelming team. They just completely crush you, and then they're like the nicest people about it. So it was definitely an experience, but you can definitely see why they are the team to beat in this postseason.
Yeah, and Heritage, your thoughts on this upcoming match with Acer and Devour Esports? How do you see this shaking up? Is it obvious, or do you feel like Devour may have a shot here?
My gut wants me to hope that we could go to like a map 3. But if you look at the overall performance of Acer, it is something that you just can't deny it. Yeah. They have been so dominant during the regular season that everyone in the North America bracket has started to fear them. The only loss that they've taken was against Aspect, and I believe that was on a bad day too. So who knows? Maybe they've worked a lot. They've think of a couple more strats to put into postseason, but I hope we could go map 3, but I kind of expect a full sweep from Acer.
Yeah, I think that's certainly something on everyone's mind as we do get ready for the Acer Devour Esports matchup to kick things off. But the only real sort of maybe saving grace is that there's a lot of footage on Acer and a lot of things that you can review, study, and research over the course of that month that they've been that number one team. Of course, Devour is that Challenger Cup winner, so they definitely have a lot cut out for them. They knew that they were going to get this task if they did advance on through the Challenger Cup, and so I think if anything, we talked about it, they at least get that sweet VRML finalist gun skin. We've shown it off, and I wish we had it in game now. We do have the current skin you can buy in game, and we've seen a bunch of teams using it on the EU side. It looks fantastic. Highly recommend you pick it up at the cheapest rate of 150 credits. It's an easy buy to enhance your Vezin and show it off to your friends and get ready for Season 2, which we are already starting to think about, I guess. But for now, we do have to focus in on the matchups ahead because ultimately we're just 15 minutes away from diving in to Acer and Devour Esports. So I want to get predictions across the board for just today. I'm not going to make you predict tomorrow's matches. We'll save that for tomorrow's pre-show. All right. But for today, where do you see things going with our first matchup of the afternoon, which is again in 15 minutes, Acer and Devour Esports, and the second matchup, which is almost immediately after, 10-15 minutes after Acer and Devour Esports, we will have Infinity versus Indomitable. Who do you see winning, advancing on to the semifinals? The semis, again, a reminder, happens next weekend on Saturday. We'll have 4 teams advancing on off of this weekend. They'll play on Saturday, and then we have our finals on Sunday. So with that cleared, who do you see going on? Bob, I'll start with you. What's your one and your number ones out of these matchups today?
Okay, this is an interesting question. I'm thinking it's going to be Acer beats Devour Esports. It's a safe bet. Sure. And as much as I would like to put my money on Devour Esports, imaginary money here. I just think Acer is
the
too safe
Monopoly
to mess up.
money.
Yeah, Monopoly. I'll pull out some Monopoly money. And then, matchup 2, I'm going to say Indomitable. I really find the way Indomitable plays to be very, very interesting. They've done an excellent job so far in this season. Eternity, very organized team. They've got a great leadership structure over there, but I think ultimately Indomitable, they've worked so incredibly hard that I'm gonna go with Indomitable wins match 2 there.
Okay, interesting. Heritage, I'm going to bounce to you so I can be the last one and avoid the pressure for now. Who do you see as the teams coming out of today?
I think I'm gonna go with the safe bet that the community has chosen. I think it's gonna be Acer as well as Eternity that moves on. I will say that Eternity has. I really don't want to jinx them, or maybe I would, depending on the context. But they have looked during that last week of the regular season. They have looked a little bit inconsistent. They somehow went map 3 against Ignite. So that is something that we should probably be looking at, depending if they improved during the winter break. But I think the safe bet for me is just Acer and Eternity that moves on.
I think.
Well, what about you, Nightfire?
I think I'm in that same boat too. I think I'm gonna go Acer Eternity as well. And I know the Devour esports fans out there are crying to not see anyone on the desk voting for their team, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, and I am going with Acer here this afternoon, and an Eternity on the other side. Again, that Eternity and Indomitable matchup is going to be one to look forward to, and I really do hope that Devour Esports can give us a good show here this afternoon against Acer, because they know the task ahead of them. It's going to be a tall order, but it's anything's possible in the postseason, and we've already seen some crazy upsets in the Challenger Cup. In the EU, I mean, we almost had Velocity Esports, the #1 seed, lose and get eliminated.
Could
earlier
you imagine
today.
that? If the #1 EU seed went out that would
the
have
number
crazy.
10, yeah, it would have been crazy, but it didn't happen. It got close, but it didn't happen. It could, so we could.
Tiffic would be crying. Tiffic would be crying if that happened.
It could be something like that here this afternoon if Devour come out with some surprises. Who knows? It is just 11 minutes away from starting. We are going to cut to another brief break, and when we come back, it will be to start Acer versus Devour Esports and see who is going to advance on to the semifinals next weekend for a chance at that 10,000 in cash and hardware divided amongst all the regions that comes from all of our sponsors. Those sponsors include HyperX, VRCOVER, Triangle Factory, Protube, and Helga, the esports manager. We really do appreciate their support. We'll have more to talk about them later on, but for now, we're going to prep and get ready for the action, take a quick breather, because it is going to be non-stop from here on out. So everyone get your popcorn and get ready for us to dive into Acer and Devour Esports in just a few minutes. They want it, but no, it doesn't matter. Yoki catches kills. Taquito finds one over the top. Down goes Yuri as Taquito picks up a triple from Acer's side. F3 looked good, but there's Taquito again, flying out, rifle in hand, catches 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and there's 1, there's 2. And they run the whole team. They find 1. Full rotation, and as they commit, Hotline's here to completely shut them down. And says, I'm going to look for a couple of kills. Catches a double tap, catches a double, catches the triple.
We're all dead.
That's a great
Snapshot.
snap.
Picking up 1, picking up 2, picking up 3. The tournament gets refragged, it's red.
The defuse. They'll get 1. Can they swing out for the double, and they catch it? What a massive play.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Breachers VRML. I'm your host, Gibular Bob, and today we're back with another interview, this time with Acer, currently the #1 team on the Breachers NA leaderboards. We've got with us today Determined, Plunge, and Red. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Awesome. So, just a couple questions for you here for today's interview. So, after 13 weeks of matches in this regular season, you got to skip the Challenger Cup, which we just had on Saturday. How you feeling right now? It must have been nice to skip the Challenger Cup.
Yeah,
Feeling good.
I'm just glad I don't have to play against worse teammates, or not worse teammates, but worse teams. It kind of defeats the thrill of playing, in my opinion.
Sure.
I agree.
It's true. Don't like playing against bad. It just kind of, not very fun.
It's boring. It's just a stomp.
Now, did you expect to be top 7 team? I know, you were at the top of the game in preseason. Were you expecting a similar result this time around?
I would have been pretty disappointed if we didn't.
I didn't expect to be on the team at all. So,
Either we're number 1 or we're losers. It's kind of our mental, I think.
Well, I mean, it's got to be working because top of the game this time around. So, did you have any part of your season that you thought was like the most difficult part, or?
I would say
probably the start, in my opinion.
Yeah, we got up to a little with Aspect. We early in the season we went through our BCL season. We lost to
The older guys, also known as
Aspect. We lost to Eternity in the BCL season. That kind of dipped our mental, and then we lost to Aspect after that, and that was kind of our lowest point. The one game we lost.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it looks like you bounced back from it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So you've got the qualifiers that are coming up this Saturday, and then the Saturday after that are the finals. So in terms of tackling that, what kind of, do you have any plans for that, or are you just kind of winging it?
I think we're probably just gonna wing it. I mean, having select strats kind of can make a team fixated on one thing, so kind of going in it and just winging it and making your decisions like during the game is probably better for versatility, at least.
I don't think we're smart enough for stuff like that, so I think we're just gonna have to wait.
I mean, yeah, that too.
Are there any teams that you're worried about? Now, you've lost to Aspect before, and then the second time you went up against them, you tied. Are you worried about Aspect coming into the finals, or?
I'm not.
I'm not too worried.
I think
from a loss, and we're going up.
The more times we play him, the easier it gets.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only problem that we would have is maybe nervousness, because some of us have not like played in a tournament before. Like I know Plunge hasn't.
Really?
Yeah, and then wanting to be able to like perform well, I guess, and that like not doing that would maybe beat themselves up and just do bad.
Yeah. So that kind of added level of pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is an optional question here, so you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But if you did win the prize money, which is at this point $10,000 in cash and hardware, what would you spend it on?
I'd probably try and get a PC off of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at a new PC. Mine's it's getting old.
I need a new gaming chair badly.
You need the gaming chair for your cheats, little bro. Just ain't that good yet, little bro. Come on.
Okay.
Maybe a new headset. Mine's kind of falling apart. I don't know about Plunge. His headset's.
Yeah, no, mine's fine.
Headphones are starting to come apart.
Yeah, it was interesting. I just upgraded to the Quest 3. My Quest 2, that was falling apart for me. That the controllers both had stick drift. So yeah, definitely some much needed upgrades. If you get that there. But I just have a really quick question for you, Red, before we wrap things up here. How do you juggle?
How do I juggle?
Yeah.
Oh. It's not that hard. With the force grab, I can't even juggle in real life. You just kind of like toss the balls up.
It's so easy in real life. What?
I can't juggle in real life, but I can juggle in game really well. Terminator taught me. He's an old teammate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've been in a lobby with you a couple times. I've seen you in games juggling. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. How does he do that? I gotta learn how to do it myself.
No, it's just practice. I was not very good at it once, but That was long ago. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Awesome.
Circus freak, man. Circus freak.
All right, well, it looks like that's all the questions I have for you guys today over here at Acer. Of course, we do appreciate the three of them, Plunge, Determined, and Red, for taking time out of their day to answer these quick questions. And, of course, we do wish you luck in the finals that are coming up. And, of course, enjoy the gun skin that you just got. Is it nice to win to get the gun skin there?
I haven't got a chance to see it yet, but
I gotta get my. I gotta send them my
you
code.
haven't seen it yet?
Well, in game.
Oh, in game. Okay, I got you. All
Wait,
right.
You got it in game?
No, that's what I'm saying. I haven't gotten it in game yet.
Gotta say, I want it.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us here at the VRML. I'm your host, Gibular Bob. This has been Acer, and we'll see you all in the next interview. Have a great day, everybody.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, fast forward, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, fast forward, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Breachers VRML Season 1 North American Top 8 Single Elimination Tournament. Say that 10 times fast and I'll give you nothing. But we are getting ready to dive into our first matchup of the afternoon. My name's Nightfire with 2 E's. I'm joined by my casters, Gibular Bob and Heritage on either side of me. Love to have you here on the desk for what is Acer and Devour esports. A matchup that some teams have been dreading all season long, and now Devour is going up against them. It is not going to be an easy one for them. And Heritage, your thoughts before we get into this on the last words maybe of Devour for Devour esports before they go up against Acer. What is your prediction here? The previous encounter wasn't bad. 14-6 isn't bad, is there some hope? Can I have a sliver of hope, a silver lining, please?
Looking at the current roster that are currently in game, it's, I'm be honest, very unlikely. But I believe for the side of Devour, as long as they stick together and try to set themselves up, because I believe stream can't see this, but the current starting 5 for Acer is Hotline, Red, Plunge, Determined, who is currently undergoing by a different alias. I believe it's legal, because he swapped the name on VRML they play on time, and Swift. And then on the Devour side, we have Minnow, Tire Tongue, Chosen. She broke my heart, but that's Collins as well as Stanky. So I think it is a little bit of an interesting roster coming from both sides.
All right, interesting to see what we're going to get here this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and give the teams the ready up so they're not waiting on us. We should be getting into the action. Map number 1 is going to be on Hideout, it looks like, and it does seem like we are going to be jumping into round number 1 here any moment, so get ready for us to dive into Hideout.
I'm surprised Acer isn't running the brother combo of Determined.
Esports on the attack, and Hideout is the map that we started all on. It's a best of 3 for those unaware of the format. We could be done in 2 maps, which is what Acer's target is. They want to be done in 14 rounds if they have anything to say about it. But Bob, I don't know if that's going to be the case, okay? I don't know that Devour Esports are going to go down without a hard-earned fight here, because this is a rare opportunity to be on this stage, to have a chance to maybe upset that top dog, the number 1 seed. And I'd love to see if maybe Devour has been practicing, maybe bring something unique, a unique play, a unique strategy to go up against this Acer squad, or if they just try and battle them in a bare knuckle brawl, so to speak, here, which is what we're going to jump into. If you ever were to consider anything a bare knuckle brawl, the pistol rounds are that.
Yeah, here we go. Starting off with a She Broke My Heart up on the roof, opening up that bedroom hatches. Devour on the move here. They get to set the pace of the attack. They're starting off on that attack side as we see a drone moving into the family room balcony. And here we go. Things just starting off right now. Here we come. Hotline getting ready to swing out into the family room balcony, but just decides to tuck way into the back. There's the breaching foam. It looks like it's going to be that classic A push by Devour. Stanky catching a few shots, tossing a frag way into the back, but that's going to miss. Plunge. Hotline up in the middle of the room, just kind of in that spot, which makes it very, very difficult for the attackers to plant that EMP. There is a frag grenade in the hands of Acer right now, so they're going to try and deter that EMP from being planted right now. And there it is, as we see Stanky might be caught. It is caught by that. The EMP was on the couch, though. It hasn't been finished as the second frag is tossed out. That's going to catch Tire Tongue as Red finds Minnow. Tire Tongue taking out Hotline as Epic Gamer finding Tire Tongue. Red finds She Broke My Heart as Chosen takes out Swift, and Epic Gamer closes things off with a win for Acer.
Red showing off the juggling skills, and yeah, a solid start to the round. Gib, take a breath. You think that was like a 30-second round? You covered that whole thing. But Heritage, your thoughts on the opener here? I guess pretty standard for Acer, but also kind of close. Those two almost died.
Yeah, I think it was all about getting that timing right when the side of Devour was fully outside of balcony and they were ready just to build. When Stanky pushed in to go for that EMP plant, they had nades and utility to indicate just, hey, we're going to be starting this push. We're going to start to get aggressive, even though they're playing revolters. And you could see that when Red pushed up towards boxes and ended up finding picks and was able to get out with his life. So it is something that Acer is a lot more known for. If you don't start to anticipate it as an enforcer, it's gonna punish you severely.
Oof. the challenge is on as we get into the action again for round number 2 in map number 1. If you're just tuning in, you're here just in time for the action. It is about to really start to get going here for NA. EU started things off, but this is just the beginning with Acer and Devour. We got another matchup right after this. Best of 3s all across the board, so we could be going for 3 maps here. And did they just lose that grenade underneath the cabinet, or maybe they're storing it there? Who knows? But there is a piece of utility there trapped underneath the cabinet where Hotline is now holding down that long alleyway, preventing anyone from pushing up. The timer ticks down, 30 seconds left. No one's made their way inside Garage just yet, or really inside the building at all.
Plenty of time for Devour to make a move here. They're going to try and not go as fast as they did last time because, I mean, they tried to outpace Acer there, but it just did not work. Acer responded, and they were able to retake that site very, very easily. We see some shots being fired as Hotline looks to swing out into Garage. Won't find anybody quite yet, but does have that Vezin playing very, very aggressively, finding one on Stanky. As She Broke My Heart looks to cut off Hotline, but Hotline dropping 3 as Tire Tongue will refrag Hotline. That Vezin's down as Epic Gamer looks to recover that, but will go down to Tire Tongue as Swift finding Tire Tongue, and Plunge will refrag Chosen One to give Acer their second round. And what a crazy push that was, but look at this. Acer already claiming their second round.
I mean, these are close. These are tight here. These rounds are coming down to the wire with 2 barely alive there on Acer. Heritage. Devour's giving a good contest in these early rounds on the pistol side.
Yeah, and now we'll be heading into the rifle round, so it could, in fact, change the swing of things in just a little bit, but I think, going with the pistols there, I think a little bit of that fortune error was that no one was watching that laundry side, which allowed Hotline just swing into Garage, and he was able to get a 3-piece without any type of punishment. And especially if you get a opt for something like a vest in second round, that is usually impactful for a team like Acer.
Yeah, very true. That rifle can carry you a long way through the rounds, especially early on. And they will advance on because they had 2 left alive. That investment carries through, to your point. So it's their economy's in good position right now on the Acer side. Devour Esports, in comparison, investing big here, only getting 4 rifles and 1 pistol. The standard almost full buy, but close enough full buy. They'll be able to contest pretty well, but still, where's the utility? They don't have a lot of that left. And there's a good nade that comes out, and fortunately only half health. She Broke My Heart almost catches them fully, but they tucked in just in time. The setup outside B still seems to be the play. They need to get control of Garage, open up the hatch, and then push in from this bottom floor. Likely try and pinch this squad. Acer's no stranger to the play, so I'm sure they're ready for the push, and it's just a matter of execution.
Absolutely, as Hotline taking out Tire Tongue there. We see She Broke My Heart in storage right now, has that foam on the hatch. Stanky over there as well. Epic Gamer currently in storage as determined, just waiting for that, either the drop or the push through storage. As Hotline taking out a second, Red will find Stanky, as Red dropping another, finding She Broke My Heart, and it's now just down to Chosen One. Things are looking very good for Acer as they pick up a 3rd round there. Epic Gamer taking out Chosen One, closing things off here on Hideout.
Well, Heritage, now they're in full swing. Now the Acer team is showing why they're number 1, why they're 13 and or is it 13 and 1? What's the hold on.
It goes 11-1.
You're right, 11-1 and 1. Why they're 11-1 so far in this 13-week regular season. And at this stage, what do you do for Devour Esports? You just got to try and make some magic happen with your pistol rounds, right?
I mean, they're opting in to go for I think half buy, where they have 2 players at least a minimum save, so they're able to just go into the 4th round, hopefully getting a little bit of firepower just to swing at things. But if you're on the side of Devour, I think the better option is just maybe let the mistakes happen from the side of Acer, because what they're doing is that from last round they swung into Garage, but they end up not clearing out a couple of angles, and that ended up costing them, because even though that bomb site was around that basement floor, they've ended up getting picked off in Garage, where the bomb site was like below that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the, well, forever challenge of going up against a squad like Acer, is even on your roams upstairs, you're running into some serious resistance. And Devour Esports will try and crack the egg of Garage one more time, but this time with very limited resources. Stanky ready to go in through the window. The duo here set up at Garage. Shots coming in and a smoke out in the front door. And She Broke My Ear is inside. That drone work, kind of getting them comfortable enough to push forward. They have the rifle, so they're leading the charge here. As that nade almost catches them and kills them. They catch out so much HP. Then they get caught through the wall, and Hotline is here to threaten the Garage push.
The shame about that, Nightfire 7, it's a team frag. It was thrown by Devour, and it really, really lowered She Broke and their health. Is Red finding that kill on Stanky. Here's Hotline pushing up on the side through the laundry hallway, looking for Chosen One, who's in Garage right now. Hotline will find that kill, and it's now just down to Tire Tongue. And Minnow the 23rd is determined will take out the Tire Tongue. Red swinging out the front, and it's now just down to Minnow the 23rd. Is Red right outside of the foyer right now, maybe caught by Minnow. What is Red doing out there? Is Red? How has Red not been automatically killed? Oh my goodness, Minnow will find that kill. Very, very bizarre, but apparently you won't die there. But Minnow the 23rd will go down to Epic Gamer as Acer pick up their 4th round in a row. They've got plenty of money now. Things are starting to look a little bit dangerous for Devour.
I mean, we're headed towards, I think, the expected result in a lot of cases for a lot of people. If you were to go to community and say, how do you think this Acer, any winner of the Challenger Cup goes? I think most people would say Acer's got it pretty easy. The Challenger Cup was packed with great teams, but this Acer squad is really a team that, again, you see even up to the Aspect, who's number 2, ranks 3 through 7, all a little bit worried about having to go up against this Acer squad if they ever get to that point in the finals. So it is the top dog. It is the team to keep an eye out for and watch out for, and they are certainly performing to expectations so far. 4-0. Devour are doing their best, and now they have a full economy buy here. So maybe they'll have a chance, Heritage, of doing something a little bit more this round.
Yeah, and then, if they want to try and improve a little bit, because most of the time they are able to get a couple of frags, but it end up, swinging Deans because they're making such simple mistakes where it ended up finding Acer able to punish them for it. I think the better option for Devour is just try and get inside the building. Don't try to do anything else, but focus on getting inside the building first, then think of your strats.
Speaking of getting inside,
with the foam on the gym wall right now, as Acer getting ready. One of them went bowling there, but they weren't able to find somebody with that frag. We see She Break My Heart on the generator right now, determined, still back up in that corner, as it looks like Devour might try that storage push again. They've popped the hatch open. Stanky just watching the hatch there, but doesn't look like they're going to try that kind of push. We see Hotline moving, switching positions as Chosen One now moving into storage. Will go down to Determinus Plunge, finding Minnow the 23rd. Here comes the second frag from Acer that's going to tag both Tire Tongue and She Broke My Heart. Determined now knows there's 2 people out there, but will be refragged by Tire Tongue.
A nice refrag that puts a bit of a pause in the action. Hotline and the rest of the Acer defense are tucked in, ready and waiting. They've got double static emitters. I mean, look at all the utility that is down here in defending. It is a hard shell to push through, and then you have everyone else with rifles all holding the other hole in the wall. Red catches Stanky out, who was considering dropping through the hatch. Tire Tongue's here now, and down goes another. She Broke My Hair, scooped up, trying to push in. Tire Tongue is alone, and look at that. They're tucked in and feel threatened on the outside upper floor, because who knows what this Acer team is going to do. They're going to challenge you. They're going to push, and maybe a little bit over-aggressive there as Red goes down, committing to being outside for too long.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we saw even in the last round where Minnow caught a free kill on Red because, I mean, they were outside of the building. I think at some point, Acer, they overextend a little bit. They're just trying to bait out the kills, and that's giving Devour some free picks. Now, they have plenty of money over on Acer, so I guess it's not, the worst thing to happen to their team, but it's still, I mean, they are giving up a couple of free picks here, but it looks like Tire Tongue, has that Vezin, might just wait up on the roof and time this round out. 30 seconds. You know, it's a 1v3, but against Plunge, Hotline, and Swift, some of the best players they have there on Acer, it might not be a very realistic 1v3 clutch to take.
Heritage, you know, we're obviously here into an eco. I'm still impressed. You know, if we pull up the scoreboard, we still do see kills. Well, not a lot coming in, I suppose, on the Devour side. Tire Tongue, if anything, has been the leader in finding any kills and getting some of these Acer attackers down. You see them with 6 on the board, 4 deaths. They'll be able to survive through here. The rest of the squad, yeah, having a bit of a time getting their feeding underneath them, as you would expect up against a squad like Acer. Stanky has that's the wrong. I mean, I have a bug on my side on the rosters, which is weird, but whatever. Maybe on yours it looks good. Maybe it's bugged too. If there is any technical difficulties, we apologize. We do our best to work around those. Regardless, it is a yeah. Tire Tongue is, yeah, like I said, is still the leader there, and everyone on Acer has come alive. So definitely doing some solid shooting on the Acer side this afternoon. Headed towards a 7-0, which we did see come in from Velocity Esports, but then they also did tie a map and almost lose a map. So there's, I don't know, again, potential for a team like Devour, who is competing here this afternoon and trying to go up against the #1 seed Acer in terms of taking rounds. We'll have to see what they can do with the full buy here. Round number 6, the final round before we swap sides and reset economy, and then essentially go in, or not essentially do, or could, I suppose, because it hasn't happened yet, could go into map point if Acer go to 6 here.
Yeah, Acer dangerously close to that first half lockout. Is determined, picking up some shots there from the window. Devour going all in on this round, and really they don't have much of a choice. They're going to swap sides after this. We see Hotline downstairs trying to put a little pressure on Devour, but will ultimately decide to rotate back, as it looks like it's going to be that Site A push from Devour. She broke my heart, tossing a frag deep into the back of Site A. There goes the wall as Acer getting ready to respond to Devour. Hotline taking out Minute of the 23rd. He went to go for that EMP plant with a trip mine. As we see, it's a 4 versus 5. Hotline still downstairs looking to get a little bit closer to this Devour offense. Stanky finding red, shutting down that flank as Chosen One taking out Plunge, but Determined dropping 2 will be refragged by She Broke My Heart, and it's now a 2 versus 2. It's down to Hotline and Swift against Stanky and She Broke My Heart, but they have to keep an eye on their flank. Stanky looking, but doesn't spot Hotline. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. As She Broke My Heart going for that EMP plant, will get it down, but Hotline looking to intercept, finds 1, finds 2, and drops that double kill to give Acer a perfect first half lockout.
What a massive play, getting locked in there. Acer, well, like I said, rounds are close. Devour is here fighting. They are giving a great contest up against this Acer team this afternoon, despite the outcome 6-0 in the first half and 2 left alive for Acer there at the end of the round. It was only 2, and what if again, it's Acer is showing why they're #1, but Devour is fighting, and I love to see them fight here this afternoon. They're on the main stage. They get an opportunity to showcase what they've been working hard for over the course of the season, and frankly, you're not going to get a better opponent than Acer. So if there's ever a time to upset or surprise anybody, it's this afternoon in this matchup against Acer. Maybe it's the map, maybe it's the side. We'll have to see as we do swap sides into the second half here, and then after this potential final round, if Acer win, move on to our second map. So a lot of scenarios are about to change that may tip the scales just a bit for Devour to put some points on the board, but for now, Acer are putting in an effort for a 7-0, and Heritage, it's looking pretty good for them so far.
Yeah, Acer have been just looking strong on that defense side. I could probably expect a lot more coming in from their offense, especially because they are such an offense-heavy team. You can see how aggressive they've got last round, so we could probably expect the exact same thing, especially heading into this round.
And here we go with a drone moving into Garage Hotline, making entry along with Swift. Now Acer gets to set the pace of the attack, and they're already on the move. Devour playing very close to those sites as that drone just spotting some of those players. As Stanky is just caught out by Hotline there. We see She Broke My Heart rotating back over to Pantry along with Minnow the 23rd. And look at this, Acer's already in deep to Kitchen. Determined taking out She Broke My Heart as Minnow the 23rd looks to swing out. Will go down to Hotline. Determined finding Tire Tongue as Tire Tongue takes out Determined with a refrag frag, as we see Chosen One, the last member of Devour, standing on this first map. This could potentially end everything here. Plunge gets that EMP down as Chosen One finds one, looks to find a second, but Swift is actually going to secure that refrag, and Acer are your map 1 winners.
A solid Acer victory, well-deserved, as they are looking good this afternoon. And frankly, if you're any team that's competing on the NA side the rest of this weekend, you are watching this match and, well, it's what you expect, but maybe getting a little bit more worried because Acer's looking to be in top form. 7-0 in map 1. I assure you they're going to try and push for 7-0 for map 2, and Devour will do their best to fight against that. Where are we headed for map 2? That is the question. We'll have to see what their choice is, and we may head to a break, but we'll have to see. We may just go right into map 2, and if that's the case, after this, when this series finishes, if it's on map 2 or potentially map 3, then we will take a quick break and then get ready to dive into Infinity versus Indomitable, which will round off the day of Breacher's streams. It has essentially been from the start of the day, 7:30 a.m. to what will be probably 7 p.m. Breachers live and broadcasted to everyone that does enjoy themselves a good Breachers VRML broadcast.
Just a small correction. The match that's coming up is going to be Eternity.
Oh, Eternity. Thank you. I get it mixed up. I got it mixed up in the interview, and I edited it out. So nobody saw me mix them up in the interview. But we are getting ready to dive in to our second map of the afternoon. I've given the teams the ready up, and if both Acer and Devour Esports are ready to go, then we will be hopping into Factory for map number 2. Get your thoughts on what you think Factory is going to do for the Devour squad. They're starting on defense here to kick things off. Acer on the attack. On Factory, do you feel that it lends itself to the Acer side more? I mean, I guess as a map, if we exclude who's playing, how do you feel this? Which side do you feel it lends itself to?
Are you talking about the side this map's leaning on, or
yeah.
It's heavily dependent on the bomb sites that the game chooses. If you get something like third floor, then it's going to be a lot more, I would argue, Enforcer sided, because you do have that hatch. But I think the bomb sites are more dependent on how you play post plant, because if you play your post plant right, then you could really favor some of these bomb sites.
And here we go as Red opens up that storage hatch, opening things up on Factory. Here comes a drone from Acer. Again, they get to set the pace of the attack, and they're going to play aggressive. Acer's a very aggressive team. I've never seen them play passively before, and I don't think we'll see that change today, as we see Hotline tossing a frag already into the back of site. Hey, that's going to catch Minnow the 23rd. A second frag toss that's going to push Tire Tongue and Stanky out. She Broke My Heart finding that kill on Hotline as Epic Gamer taking out She Broke My Heart, securing a nice refrag there. Stanky goes down to Epic Gamer, but Chosen One will refrag Epic Gamer. Swift finding the kill on Tire Tongue, as it's now EMP planted and Swift dropping 2 to close out round 1 once again for Acer.
They are so fast in their pushes in here, and Devour got 3 you know, or I guess 2.5, almost 3, and certainly put on a good contest to defend. But yeah, Acer just kind of bowled through Devour there, and the pace is going to be that, I think, for the rest of the first half here, where Acer are on the attack. For these next 5 rounds, we're going to be seeing Acer pushing at that pace. Heritage, do you see them going any slower than that?
On a site like, I think we are on, I believe this, yeah. No, I don't think we are going to slow down by any chance. I believe the only time they will slow down is when they enter into that top orange site where that hatch is basically a power play. So, but no, I think we could honestly expect a more quicker pace coming in from Acer.
Interesting. Well, it's again, Acer certainly delivering to expectations, Bob. It's what we anticipated here this afternoon, and they're definitely going to be competing for another 7-0 here unless Devour Esports can shut things down. The drone will come in and identify Peppa and She Broke My Here, who are set up here pretty far forward on the hunt. They will catch 1 kill, but a quick refrag from Hotline make it 2. Can they get the 3rd? They do. It's a triple kill for Hotline. A beautiful sweep in on their active camo there. There's only 2 left for Devour, and they're also up here off of bomb site.
All right, I mean, you just see the blitz from Acer as they lose 1, but Hotline drops 3, and there's only 2 left. Where on earth are they? Chosen One and Stanky both upstairs right now. This could throw Acer off a little bit, but I mean, the EMP's already been planted. They've already dispersed, and at this point, they're so dug in. Chosen One looking to drop, but will go down to Hotline, who drops a 4th. Can Hotline go for an ace? Ooh, Plunge shuts that down.
Rude.
But ultimately, it's a 2-0 game with Acer in the lead, and they've just been dominating this game so far.
Plunge, what the heck are you doing here? Okay, this is a competitive esports scenario. Everybody knows that if your teammate has an opportunity for an ace and you can usher that ace into existence, that you should support it. I suppose finding the kill is perfectly reasonable, but still a great job from Acer, as you'd expect, on the attack. And Heritage, they're continuing to push closer and closer to the 7-0.
Yeah, and they are rallying their way into this, and you could look at that utility, and you can see that it reasons with them. They're going with things such as double frag grenades, smokes, anything to essentially obscure anything that could give Devour any chance or any line of sight that could swing towards their favor. And you can see that on the side of Devour, there's little to no utility. So it is going to be a little bit rough for them, especially on this ground floor bomb site where aggression is usually one of the more common tactics on this.
Yeah, it's well, you're right. Maybe an opportunity with the ground floor, but you can see, what are they doing? It looks like some comm issues maybe coming in from the Stanky side. Peppa Pig trying to. We've seen that happen once so far on the EU side as well. It's a bug that maybe has been popping up a little bit. Not one we see often, admittedly, but a self flash there. That's a self bug that Swift did not want to have happen there. The nade goes a little bit too far, pushes them back off, and B side seems to be the play.
Acer already making entry into orange storage, though. They haven't done anything to keep them out of this room, so they're giving up a lot of real estate to Acer very early. Chosen One, however, finding red. A very, very nice kill there, cutting off that flank from Acer. This could hurt their push. Swift is a little bit damaged, but Hotline finding that kill on Peppa Pig. That drone, as She Broke My Heart, went to play center, went down to Determined, as Determined drops a 2nd on Chosen One, and it's now just down to Stanky and Tire Tongue. Both have Vezins, but ultimately, Tire Tongue finding that kill on Determined, looking to push through assembly. Might try and intercept Hotline, but Hotline intercepting Tire Tongue for the refrag. It's now just down to Stanky, who finds Swift. But Hotline with amazing shot placement will find Stanky through that wall and ultimately give Acer that 3-0 game.
It's so hard. You go up against a team like Acer, and these guys have such good map knowledge, understanding of positioning and rotation style, that they find wall shots through walls that you're like, how? That's crazy, you know. But they're reading. It's data that's getting fed to them by their team, and they're reacting off of it. And I mean, if you watch Acer close, you get to really see them and observe their skill, because they're number one for a reason. They are very good at the game of breachers. That is plain and simple. They understand how to play this game, and they do it well as a team. They're coordinated. They use all the utility effectively. Their shots are on point, and that's one thing that goes underrated a lot here, Taj, right? Is even being able to hit your shots.
Yeah, I think just in the higher levels, if you can't aim properly, you're not gonna go anywhere with it. So most of the time, most of these players will just aim train for like 2 to like 5 hours on just purely aim rather than working on game sense. And you could see it here coming in from Acer, where you just see them snap. It's now that we push into this orange side.
And here we go, drone moving in to orange vending. She broke my heart downstairs. There's the foam from Acers are getting ready, possibly to drop that hatch, but Swift and Red going down the orange stairs. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. Here comes the drone, looking down, finds Peppa Pig. Very, very good droning. Red will find that kill and secure it for Acer. Good start for this Acer team. She broke my heart, just waiting on that planter, determined, tossing a flashbanging, actually gets themselves looking to swing into the right, but She Broke My Heart will take that kill. Stanky finds plunge, as it's now a 3 versus 4, and for the first time in this matchup here, it looks like Acer slightly down on players.
Slightly down, but not out. This team will fight hard as the trio here. They're still going to stay in sync, and they're opening up A site. Red tries to catch a shot over the top down towards the A site, but can't quite catch out She Broke My Here. There's a nice nade. Oh, and that almost went over the rail and caught Red on the stairs. The rest of the team rotating up on the stair line. Could go up to that top floor. Could be running in to Stanky at any point. Hotline's holding that flank, though.
And here comes Stanky through lockers, getting ready to swing out, but Hotline there on the flank watch, I should say, does an excellent interception and finds Stanky. We see She Broke My Heart now attempting to flank Acer, and I think they keep attacking in a very fragmented push, and it's ultimately hurt them quite a bit as Hotline found Chosen One. Red took out Tire Tongue, and it's now just down to She Broke My Heart to take out Swift, who does get that EMP planted right now. It's going to put a little pressure, but She Broke My Heart finds Swift. However, will be refragged to Red as Acer pick up their 4th round in a row.
4th in a row, and actually technically 7 plus 4 is 11 in a row here, Taj. This team has not let a round go to Devour Esports yet. This is going to change when they get into the semis, right? I mean, whoever goes up against them, I feel like Indomitable or Eternity, Indomitable or Eternity will give this Acer squad a good contest. But this is, I guess, again, proof to what people expected. It's again that number 1 seed delivering and playing very well. And what are your thoughts so far? Again, 11 unanswered points.
Yeah, I think it's just Acer being dominant on this side. We've seen the aggression coming in from Acer. They're just toying with Devour right now, and it is just Devour doesn't have a proper response to any of the calls that Acer is trying to do. So it does look like a little bit of a sweep coming in from Acer.
Here comes the foam on that top hatch, the drone to work in and assess the situation. They'll then drop down quickly through the hatch, open up that wall sight on A, and come crashing in. That's what Devour have to be ready for. It's what Acer have been doing all day. They've been playing fast, and here comes the push.
Interesting tuck from Peppa Pig, who's been spotted, but finds Swift before being refragged by Red. Here comes another frag into the back of Site A. Stanky will be able to dodge that, but can Stanky survive another frag? Stanky will survive another frag, taking out Determined Fear along with that push from Acers. We see Red Hotline over in blue hallway, blue vendings respectively. We see Red taking out 2. Beautiful crossfire there as Hotline finds Stanky Red with a triple kill to close things off. 5th round in a row in this game for Acer, and they've just been absolutely dominating Devour here in this matchup.
Yeah, they are setting expectations for that next weekend. They are a team that looks strong, to say the least. Heritage, they continue to perform well, and another solid round from them on the attack. We go into our last round here before we swap sides, and maybe a side swap is what Devour need, but you know, with if they don't get one here, then it's just going to be a pistol round that separates them from a 14-0.
Well, they did start on Revolter's side, which was, I would argue, a little bit, I think, more favored on a map like Factory. But I think the main thing, if they want to get around and just maybe answer a little bit, is to stop giving Acer these 1v1s. They're isolating these fights to the point where essentially they're gaining tunnel vision, in a sense, where they're essentially just looking at players. They're able to get the frags, but they end up not looking at the main area, and they're just being put in these narrow situations where they haven't been able to respond or get any type of escape.
I love to see Acer still pushing in and being aggressive, blind firing certain standard defensive spots. Pepe Pig catches one with the shotty out top. Epic Gamer with a quick refrag, though. Hotline will go down for the trouble. She broke my here on the short corner, and an immolation nade's going to stop She Broke from rotating out through that doorway while the rest of the team pushes in and tries to toss their nades into B site. There's one nade. They'll set up for the foam on the site. She Broke my here, swings to look for more, but finds the entire team ready for them. They'll go down, and here comes the final push with a team frag.
Swift taking out Tartung with a headshot there. It's now just down to Stanky, the last remaining hope for Devour. That frag tossed out there. Stanky looks to recover. That Vezin not quite able to do that, and Plunge will swing there. And the big disadvantage that Stanky had was that Oral, and I think Plunge was headshot by that, but ultimately, when you have a Vezin, you got a one-tap weapon to the head against a two-tap weapon to the head, and it just worked out in favor for Plunge.
It is the time to swap sides, reset economies, and have the last chance for Devour present itself. A pistol round on the attack. Can they get a point on the board? I guess that's the real question we should have asked at the start of the pre-show. Do you think that Devour will get a point? If I had asked you that question at the start of the pre-show, what would your answer have been, Heritage?
No. To be blunt, no. A team, if they, tied in their last match in Challenger Cup, even though they were expected, but if you go against a team like Acer that has just been around, I think, ever since the first season, and they showed up, it is just hard to counter a team like this where they've played together for a long time, and a name like Acer is just a very scary term in Breachers.
Yeah, Devour are planning as a team up here, huddling around, it seems. I don't know, maybe enjoying their last round in the VRML, because that ultimately is what is at stake here. If they lose, they will be done playing in the regular season, and Acer will advance on to challenge whoever moves through to the semifinals. Absolute chaos unfolding here as Red and Hotline clean up Devour Esports' entire tongues alone, and is now dead. 7-0 for Acer as they take a clean victory on Map 2 on Factory, and ultimately lock in the Series W here in our top 8 single elimination best of 3. Whew, quite a match, Heritage, but Acer 14-0. Pretty much what everyone thought would happen against anyone that came out of the Challenger Cup.
Yeah, I think especially, Acer has been, like I've said, they've been playing for a long time, and the amount of aggression and absolutely no response coming in from the side of Devour ended up costing a couple of mistakes. Devour had moments where they could have taken a couple of rounds, but they've made things such as not anticipating the overall aggression coming in from Acer. I think we could expect, one of the rounds on the side of defense where I think it was the last round where they've had third story. They've had like a 3-2 player count, and they weren't ready for the aggression and ended up losing all their players. So that's one of the main mistakes that Devour's had. They just weren't ready for the overall aggressive push coming in from Acer.
Yeah, and we are going to be going into a brief break coming up. Before we do, Bob, I want to get your thoughts on this matchup. We have another one that's going to be coming up soon after this, but before we get there, your thoughts on Acer and Devour.
Well, it's so unfortunate because I had that glimmer of hope that maybe Devour might have put up a really really good fight. When you take a region like EU, I think their top 8 teams are very 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 skilled, and they have a lot of similar skill. I would say, not to say that anybody's bad over in EU, but I think they play in a very similar manner. We saw that today during their, qualifiers that Nightfire casted, that how close some of those games got. But when you take, the top 8 of the North America region, there's a very, very big disconnect with some of those top teams and even, like top 8. We saw that here. Number 1, number 8. It wasn't close at all. Ultimately, Acer, they just came to play today. They dominated this lobby, and Devour, they couldn't help but have their pushes fragmented and force them into this kind of position where they would have to swing on multiple Acer players, or they would swing on one Acer player and they would just get shot, and it just did not work out for them here, and ultimately, they're going to leave this season. They get the gun skin, but it was a very, very tough matchup. No matter who you put in there from Challenger Cup, whether it was Devour, whether it was Wipeout, whether it was Vanguard, it was bound to be a very, very difficult match.
Indeed, it was. We are going to prep for our next matchup, one that we anticipate to be much, much closer. Infinity and Indomitable. Eternity, gosh, I'll get it right. Eternity and Indomitable going at it in just a few minutes. Don't be going anywhere. We've got interviews coming up right as we cut out of this break. So catch those, stick around, and in just about 10 minutes' time, we'll be diving into Eternity versus Indomitable. Got their double rifle buy-in, early Taurus in hand, coming in. They want to be higher up. And oh no, TVG Dog on the backside. Solo gonna look for the kill. They'll fly down. Another kill. Another vault. Another kill. A triple for TVG Dog. He does make the entry. Could be a good time to catch some kills over the top. But a snap turn from Proxy makes it a...
Oh, watching through the window, I was going to say, but gets taken out through the connector. What a nice 180 snap and another 180 snap. Defense, all poised. They're set up exactly how they want. TBG Dog with the Vezin in hands. Going to pick up 2 big kills there. Not just Tech 9 and Hotline. Ooh.
Flies in and picks up a big double. Finds one, swings in to get the defuse. Catches another, gets the triple. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the VRML YouTube channel. We are here with the Eternity squad. I got 3 members from the Eternity team, one of these teams to qualify into the top 7 North American region. First off, congratulations to everyone here for qualifying. That is a fantastic achievement, and I wanted to start off by sort of getting the vibe of how you guys are feeling after 13 weeks of regular season matches. How does it feel to kind of be here? How does it feel to avoid that Challenger Cup that a lot of these teams are going to be going into in the first week of the month?
I think it feels great. I think we're not getting to relax is the one downside of it. I think a lot of teams might feel that way, but I think the biggest piece about it is it allows us a lot of prep time, more prep time than maybe those teams that are going into that Challenger Cup, and we get to know who we're playing. So it gives us even that extra time to really focus in on that one team that we're going to be playing. So it feels great to be able to do that for sure.
What was the most difficult part of your season? Because everyone has those trials and tribulations. Was it that downswing early in that season after our interview?
Yeah, I think it was right when we started losing a lot. I think we had some close games. Like I remember that first game with Acer, we lost by like a round. So we had that confidence, like, oh, we're good. And I think we just kind of, I don't want to say started slacking off, but we had just come from another league and really grinded a lot to get first place in that. And then starting up this league, we kind of like were exhausted and want to take like, step off the gas just a little bit. But I think it turned into a lot of it. And then, we had to like reapply that gas, and especially now that we're in playoffs, really having to do it again. But yeah, just realizing that we kind of dropped the ball for a little bit.
Yeah, Proxy, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was right after I said it feels nice not to lose, where I kind of cursed the team. So,
Yep.
Mabi.
Juice.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Penny was saying, as we were hitting the brakes the previous league, everyone was hitting the gas pedal because they were all hungry to be in that number 1 champion spot, right? So while we were like, let's just relax, take a break, then all of a sudden we're playing catch up for the next 4 to 5 weeks, and then trying to bring morale, trying to boost, like, we got this, you got this, you know? So it was a really big tester for not only myself, but for the team as well, to see where all of our mental states are of how much we want this. So I'm hoping that this previous couple weeks where we were climbing the ranks again, when we get into the playoffs and everything, that we're ready to rock and roll like the previous season.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it. What are your plans for postseason? Do you have scrims lined up leading into that round robin challenge stage? You know, like what's the plan?
Definitely a lot of scrims. I know it's a little holiday season, as you can tell by all the festivities here. You guys are going to be watching this after the holiday season, so I hope everyone did have a good holiday season, you future people.
New year.
Yeah, I think scrims and definitely doing a lot of VOD review. Again, it's awesome that we do have this time because VOD reviews take quite a bit. So just having time to do that. So scrims, VOD review, and then working on strats specifically for the teams that we're going to be playing.
Yeah, speaking of, is there one team you're really kind of focusing in on in this postseason that you have your eye out for? Is there a team that you're worried about at all or anything like that?
I think all of these teams are pretty solid, and I think we're just going to focus on our bracket at the moment. So that's Indomitable is going to be our first matchup. I'm pretty sure if I got this wrong.
Yeah.
2 weeks here,
yeah, no.
And then it's most likely going to be Acer, but who knows? Maybe there could be a big upset. And then that 8th place team, we don't know who they're going to be yet. So just Indomitable, and then focusing on Acer after that. So might do a little bit of work on Acer, but I mean, these guys have come from the bottom and up to the top, so they're definitely someone we want to put a lot of time into our first matchup to focus on prepping for.
Yeah. It's the perfect time, right? With these holidays. Either people are going to take advantage of it, or they're going to be grinding like we plan on doing.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking the time during the holiday season to chat with me here this afternoon. And again, looking forward to the postseason gameplay from you guys.
Oh my goodness! Are expecting. Oh my goodness, Argonaut taking out Sauceman! Argonaut dropping 2! Could swing out to the side, finds the kill on Rise Optimal. Very nice kills. Arc picks up Kai. Sauceman is looking for another one, but Dr. Turt finds it instead. Could Dr. Turt pick up the kill here? Turt! Big one pushing in, finding that kill on Rabbit Up. Picking up a second one from Dan Katana, finding I Play My Aim. Is Dan Katana finding 2, finding 3! Dan Katana rotating back into the pump as Crimson finding 1, finding 2. Angel pushing in, Frostbite dropping 2. My goodness, it's just down to Frostbite. He's got a 1v2, he's picking up 1.
Door.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god! He's a ghost! He's a ghost! Welcome back to the Breachers VRML postseason interviews. I'm your host, Gibular Bob, and today I'm joined by 2 members of Indomitable, who finished number 5 in the NA standings. So we have Crimson here on the left. Crimson, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm team's captain. Hello.
And we've got Brabadabido here on the Revolters side.
That's Vucci. I'm the oldest member of Indo.
Okay. Now that we're getting to the post-season year, you're past the Challenger Cup at this point, and you have some other pretty tough matches coming up. What's the plan to tackle those? You have any kind of strategy in mind yet?
I do. So we know we're going up against Eternity, and then very likely Acer after that. For the Eternity matchup, we have some benefits in that they've been around for a very long time and we haven't. So we can get a lot of information on them, and we fought them before as Bandit when we were 8th in preseason. So it's not like me and Barbdo have no experience against them, and I've fought a lot of their players recently as well. So strategy-wise, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I'm just more worried about fighting up against the top teams because I remember the previous history we've had with them on Bandit. Like, remembering just seeing them as like the giants, like the gods that I never thought we would ever be able to tackle on. To see that might actually have a chance of maybe winning or giving them a good fight is probably one of the most exciting things at the moment. Because to think that we're actually made it to the top and not realize it's like, oh, we're just up here now. It's kind of invigorating to think about, because we've fought so damn hard just to have Vanguard just all of a sudden say, "Yo, we're up." Like, this is a moment where we have to shine. It's like we have to fight our previous buddies just to be able to fight the next best teams, and it's a little stressful at the moment. But I think we do have a bit of a chance, considering we've had so much experience in the preseasons, BCL, and here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's all about kind of how you approach it, and if you let that pressure overtake you or not. I think so far your team's done a very, very good job of thriving under that kind of pressure. So next question. I guess this is kind of more towards what we were just talking about, but is there a specific team that you're worried about going up against, or is it just kind of you're concerned about the newer, the higher ranked teams that are coming up?
It's got to be Acer.
Infinity.
I mean,
most Infinity for me, because I've always looked up to them. They've always been the team I've idolized a little bit. Same with Wicked. They were the first teams we've ever fought against. But Acer, we might have a chance considering they don't know anything about us, but we definitely don't have nearly as much experience.
It's going to be interesting. Being the only new team in the top 7 right now, that is a big boon for us. Mm-hmm. But with Acer, like, Eternity seems beatable.
Welcome, everybody, to the Breachers of VRML North American Season 1 Top 8 Single Elimination. We are here in our second matchup of the afternoon, and I am joined by my co-casters, Cubular Bob and Filibust here. Love to have Phil on the desk with us, substituting out Heritage. And I'll start with you, Phil. How are you feeling today for this upcoming matchup, Eternity versus Indomitable?
Oh, what words to describe. I mean, we're finally here. The playoffs, top 8 teams duking it out in a single elimination tournament. The hype is real. All the money's on the line. We got $10,000 in cash and prizes here that these guys are duking it out for. It's just an all-time high. We've got, we've seen some amazing matches. The way the seeding is playing out, they're just going to get better and better as the playoffs go on. So I am strapped in and ready for some intense Breachers action.
We got a lot to look forward to, Bob. If you pull up that bracket, you'll see that this is the second of 3 matches to be played out in the single elimination round. We still have those coming up tomorrow, so same time, same place. We'll be firing up 2 more matches tomorrow. Those matchups going to be super hype, but I feel like it kind of, really starts here with Eternity and Indomitable. Acer, again, expected to be in the semifinals and honestly in the finals. I think people expect that whoever they're going to go against in the semis, they're likely still to win and advance on to the finals. At least that's where my vote's going to be going when it comes prediction time. But regardless of who that is, whether it is Eternity or Indomitable going up against them, we'll find that out this afternoon. And, what are your thoughts on, this matchup and the rest of the matchups this weekend? Bob, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if we take a look at the matchup page here really quick, taking a look. Eternity with an 8-5 record, 62% of their games they've won. Indomitable 12-6-1, quite the rap sheet that they have there. 67% of their games won. Best map for both of them, interestingly enough, is Ship. Except Eternity, 44 rounds played, they've won 61% of theirs. Indomitable, 98 rounds played. They've done a lot of impressive things on ship, but ultimately it looks like the most played map for both teams is going to be Hideout. 113 rounds played by Eternity, 112 by Indomitable, and they're both kind of in the 50%, except Indomitable, almost 60% there, but it should be a very, very interesting matchup. Definitely it's going to be a little bit closer than what we just saw with Acer. You know, they were just dominant in that game. But, I mean, if you look, Eternity number 4, Indomitable number 5, these two teams are much, much closer in skill level. So, honestly, it could go either way.
I mean, Phil, you were competing. You were playing against some of these players. You know, what are your thoughts on the matchup here this afternoon with Indomitable and Eternity?
It's interesting. It's a very interesting matchup. You know, I would have said, if you had asked me maybe a month or two ago, I would have said Eternity is probably a shoe-in to take this one. But there's been some roster changes. There's been a lot of mix-ups. And I still tend, I know we're not doing predictions, but I think even with the roster changes Eternity's gone through, they have enough talent, and there's just some heavy hitters on that roster. So I think Indomitable has got their work cut out for them today, for sure. It's going to be an intense matchup, though. The seeds are a little bit closer. I expect a little bit more back and forth than we saw in the first matchup of the day. But yeah, it's going to be a good match. I'm excited.
Yeah, indeed. It does look like we are just about ready to go. We can take a look at the active rosters here on the afternoon and who's in the lobby. We see on Indomitable, we have Crimson, Dan Cathana, Frostbite, Dr. Turt, and Brabadabato. And over on Eternity, we have Pennypacker, Proxy, Fly, Juice, and Mindbaker. The expected rosters to come in from both teams, and I do think we should be getting into our first map of the afternoon. I do want to wait until I get confirmation that we are going to start, because there was a technical difficulty. We've lost one, so we're going to wait until we do jump into it. But a quick shout out while we do have a breather to our sponsors who, like Phil was saying, come in and support us with that $10,000 in cash and hardware prize pool. Those sponsors include Protube. Phil, bust it out. We can't. Maybe you're not on cam yet, but I'm
not on cam.
I don't know if you're not on. We're still advertising. Okay, you got to show it off. The Protube here on my side. Phil has one too. If you were to see him, he's showing it off. A fantastic stock that helps stabilize your aim in game. They support the prize pool in cash, and we really do appreciate them. Alongside that cash support is Triangle Factory. Also, with those two in-game gun skins, you'll see the VRML skin used by players here this afternoon, but that finalist skin coming in hopefully for the next weekend's matches, we'll have to see. But regardless, that going to the top 8 of every region, so a big shout out to them. And really a big shout out to Triangle Factory. We had that interview with the devs. Jürgen is a fantastic developer, and we've had a great collaboration with him so far, so we really do appreciate the support there. We're also sponsored by Helga, the esports bot manager, a bot that is providing EU and NA first and second place with lifetime subscriptions to their captains. Considering that VRML is just adding new leagues with X8 and VRML, we're going to definitely be around for a while. So that subscription, that lifetime service, definitely going to come in handy if you want to continue to play competitively within the VRML space. We do appreciate their support a lot. It really does help, again, with organizing your matches. So do go check them out on their Discord. We're also sponsored by HyperX. With the mic, you're hearing my voice come in on the Procast. It is the XLR version of the mic. We really do appreciate their support. They also do provide prizing for our first, second, and third place North American champions who are competing this afternoon for that prizing. Last but not least, VRCOVER coming in and supporting the VRML and contributing to the VRML and that prize pool with fantastic comfort options. The VR covers really do help enhance the comfort of almost any VR device you utilize. So I do I recommend you don't even put a headset on until you get one, and then put that on the headset and then put the headset on, because it really does make a substantial difference in how long you can wear the headset, because it really enhances the comfort a lot. So do go check out VRCOVER. We really do appreciate their support. I think I have stalled long enough for the 5th to reconnect and for us to be just about ready to dive in to round number 1 here of the afternoon. The format, for those tuning in and maybe unfamiliar, it is a best of 3 this afternoon. We could be done in 2, like you saw with Acer. They won those first 2 maps, and they did come out on top as the champion and advance on to the semifinals. The loser here is eliminated. And I got to give the players again the indicator that we are ready to go, just in case they aren't aware, because everyone is in a lobby. Everybody does seem ready. I think they're doing one final check across the lobby because it has been a bit of time. We've been stalling here, obviously, and trying to get the time to get ready for us to get into what is going to be map 1 on... We are here on Factory to kick things off. Going to be an exciting start to the Indomitable versus Eternity matchup. For those that are just tuning in, it is Eternity on the attacking side, Indomitable on the defensive side. Phil, you're going to be with us in spirit in the analyst for at least the first map here. Maybe we'll rotate that in or out as we get into the action. But what are your thoughts on, again, this first round here on Factory?
I mean, Factory, the longest running map we've had in the game. A lot of these guys have been around. I don't know how many alpha players we have here, but there was a time before full release where this was the only map, excuse me, the only map that everybody was jamming. So I expect to see a lot of comfort from both teams. They know what they're doing here, and should be a good show.
I mean, there's a lot of experience, like you said, Bob, as we do get ready to dive into round 1 here. The shot's already opening up.
Yeah, Frostbite just tucking in orange storage right now, and I've seen this from Indomitable before. They've planted somebody over in the corner there, and they're just going to wait as long as possible and try and keep attention off of that corner. We see a drone moving in. If it spots Frostbite, this strategy is going to be down the drain, but it doesn't spot Frostbite. Crimson holding that angle as Frostbite looks to swing out, but is intercepted by Mindbaker. Hasn't worked out the best for Indomitable, but both Proxy and Fly down to 23 health. Here's a frag tossed way into center of receiving right now. There goes the wall from orange storage. Fly in the back there with the EMP, just firing some shots. Doesn't find anybody. However, frag is tossed, won't catch anyone. 2 minutes 10 left on the clock. Here's another great frag toss in the connector, and that's going to tag Dan Katana's Crimson finding that kill on Juice Brabadabado, taking out Proxy as it's a 3 versus 4, swinging back into favor of Indomitable right now.
A back and forth ping-ponging tennis match here as we go down into that 3v4. Fly has just a slice of health, and Pennypacker will go down to Dr. Turt, so it makes it a 2v4. Fly and Mindbaker, the key element in pushing in here, and Mindbaker does some great damage onto Crimson on the corner. Crimson with a slice of health tucked into that tight corner as Fly tries to support up through the center on B site. Both of them looking to crash in here towards B, and both of them being held down. Fortunate that no flanks coming in, and there's the shot, the trade up the middle. Dan Katana finds the kill. No trade, matter of fact. Dan Katana just finds the kill. Fly with a quick refrag, though, and here comes the push. Brabadabado thinking about barreling forward. They'll find the back of Fly and swat them down to get round 1 into their pocket and take the early lead.
And what a crazy round to start things off. You had Eternity with a great start. They got the opening pick, full storage control, and then they threw everything they had at B bomb site. But shout outs to Indomitable. They rotated over. They got the 4 remaining players onto that B bomb site, and then it was just a slaughterfest. Eternity members dropping left and right, and it went from a 5v4 to a 1v4 just like that. Fly stuck in a tough situation, not quite able to pull it through for Eternity, but that's a great start to this matchup. Indo off to a quick lead.
A slaughter fest, Bob. Would you agree that that's what the Indo executed on there to get round 1?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I mean, we saw that. I think it all started with that Frostbite play at the beginning. Frostbite wasn't able to secure that kill, but got 2 members of Eternity very, very low. And ultimately, I think, that low health assisted in getting that double kill that they needed, and things just started to fall in place for Indomitable after that play. So we'll see what they do here on round 2 over on Indomitable. They did pick up 2 of those round 2 Vezins. There's a storage hatch from Eternity as they're getting ready to move in on these upstairs sites. Now Juice just keeping an eye on that hatch right now. You see a big eco play from Eternity. They're running 3 Jespers, only 2 Spectrals. They're not expecting to win this round. They're just saving as much money as they possibly can so they can buy some util and some Vezins next round. But here's Mindbaker right outside of blue vendings. Pennypacker, Proxy making their way up blue stairs. We got 2 minutes 20 seconds left in this round, and Eternity just slowing down the pace a little bit. They're kind of constricting Indomitable as much as possible. They're going to cut off any kind of exit points that they have, and we'll see. They might close in fairly soon here.
Yeah, the timing is everything here for Eternity. They had a pretty quick first round, so they're trying to slow the pace up, it seems, just a touch here and take control of that pace. They know the challenge that faces them with the double rifle buy-in, or at the least they can assume there's 1 rifle guaranteed in this kit that they're going to be going up against because they lost that first round. It's the consequence of losing the early round. And I got to point out the beautiful VRML skin on those rifles. Definitely going to add 10 bonus points to your cool meter when you're in the game. Who knows what that's going to do for you when you're competing in a matchup like this.
100%. I bought it immediately as Pennypacker exchanging some very nice shots with Dan Katana. They're both, 5 and 6 on the health. They're a minute 20 left on the clock. Eternity is going to have to make a move here fairly soon. They've spent a lot of time just waiting and positioning themselves, but a frag is going to slow them down as Dr. Turret finding that kill on a Proxy. Juice now dropping down that storage hatch, a frag toss in. Not going to go to the back of the room, though, as we see some shots still fire between Dan Katana and Pennypacker. Dan Katana, however, was able to get a heal off. 55 seconds left on the clock. Eternity just running out of time. Crimson picking off Pennypacker with that Vezinous fly, making their way along with Juice into Site B. They don't have the EMP, but they were able to recover the Vezin from Brabadabado, and this could change things for Eternity. Mindbaker making their way through Generator right now to get in as Crimson looking for a Vezin kill, wasn't able to find it. This could be a big payoff for Indomitable right here, but it's a 2 versus 2. They were able to recover 1 Vezin. They weren't able to get the second as it's Dr. Turd dropping 2. And look at this, Indomitable able to hold on to those Vezins. And wow, that was a close round.
Dan Katana and Dr. Turt just squeezing away with that one, Phil. We're off to the races now. This is what I expect every round, quite frankly, the battle back and forth.
The hype is building. What a close round. Eternity, it looked like Indomitable was playing it perfectly. They played tight. They all played on site. They had the Vezin in hand. And then Eternity somehow managed to wrap in and get control of B, and there was like a miscommunication. The Vezin pushed in on its own, went into the hands of Eternity, and there was a 2v2 with the Vezin on the wrong team. It was looking like Eternity was going to steal that one away for a minute there, and then Dr. Turret coming out of the connector, got swung by the Vezin, manages to win that fight and pick up the it was just the closest round we've seen so far. The hype is building. Almost a 1-1 scoreline there, but now we're going into the first gun round, and Eternity, I feel like they found a little chink in the armor there for the Indomitable defense already, and we're only in the second round.
Yeah, it certainly seems like they've managed to get a nice opening, to say the very least. The first 2 rounds, though, don't mean much when you now go into the full buy on both sides and essentially kind of equal the playing field again. The pistol round, obviously a good starting point, a good equalizer, but round 3, if the economies are managed correctly, does often mean that both teams are fully equipped and ready to battle up against each other, which is what we have here this afternoon, and Dr. Turt will go down first to Juice's rifle as they work their way into the top floor of A's site.
They've given up a very early pick, but Frostbite able to secure a wonderful refrag there for Indomitable on Mindbaker. Proxy decides not to enter in that way, but Frostbite actually might be cut off here pretty soon. Fly making their way through lockers right now. Proxy's right outside. They're hunting for Frostbite. Frostbite wasn't able to take out the drone, and it's going to chase. And Frostbite needs to get downstairs, but is in kind of a difficult spot, tossing a frag way down to blue hallway, and is able to escape with enough time and won't be picked off by Eternity. But a very, I mean, it was kind of a neutral opening. Both sides lost one player, so it could go either way still, as we see Eternity making their way back into Orange Vendings. They've dealt with the roamer threat upstairs, got that foam on the hatch into kitchen right now. Dan Katana waiting in the server room right now. There's some smoke popped by, I guess it has to have been Indomitable there. They're trying to anticipate the movements of Eternity. Incendiary tossed below that hatch. And what they're doing right now, again, is kind of similar to what they did in the last round. They're trying to stall the push from Eternity for as long as possible. They're using their smokes, but Pennypacker finding an incredible frag grenade on Brabado, catching them completely off guard. Crimson is over in the bathroom right now, might get ready to swing out and look for Pennypacker, but Pennypacker prepping another frag grenade. Won't catch the window there, and Crimson won't find Pennypacker. As we see Fly moving into kitchen, Dan Katana exchanging some shots with them, but there's 50 seconds left on the clock. The EMP has been put on the box, but it hasn't been planted yet. Proxy finding the kill on Dan Katana as Frostbite drops one. Looks to pick up a second, but Pennypacker taking out Crimson. It's now just a 1 versus 3. Down to Frostbite here, and it's a very difficult situation. Fly looking to get that EMP planted as Pennypacker swinging out that arm there. They're just looking for Frostbite. Frag tossed into server room, won't catch Frostbite, but the EMP's planted, and Frostbite is in a very, very tough spot right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. It is a 1v3 alone on their defensive hold, and frankly, the retake is all they have, as that EMP has already gone down, so it's not easy in that 1v3 retake. This may be very well Eternity finally getting on the board, because they do have 3 rifles to hold things down. And I think, if anything, we could be seeing an eco round here from Frostbite. They may not even go in and challenge on site. They may just tuck in, carry this rifle through with them to the next round, because every dollar matters in a series like this. You're very likely to go 3-3 in the first half with how these two teams are matched in terms of skill level. And so you have to be ready for that on the economy side. That's the hardest part to manage in a lot of cases, is even to have the right guns when you need them most, because you can let rounds slip if you don't have the right utility and bringing it to the right rounds. You know, it's all about timing in this game, and it does look like, yeah, we are going to get the eco. Frostbite will hold on to that. Eternity with 3 left alive move on confidently with a good big win that resets their economy and puts them in a solid place. And Phil, they're right back in this off of that round win.
Yeah, I mean, first round on the board, momentum in their favor. Indo has got some money stacked up, so we're going to see another buy round here coming out. But this is, you know, the momentum has been halted. I feel like even after that second round, they felt their first round win coming. So, I mean, it's on. Only 3 rounds in. We're not even halfway through this the first half here of map 1, and it's definitely anybody's game.
It is the battle of 2 top teams, ranked 5 and 6. Do I have that right? Hold on, let me pull up the matchup history. And
4 and 5.
See what it says. 4 and 5. Thank you. Yeah, Eternity number 4, Indomitable number 5. I was thinking 5 and 6 from EU earlier, just a few maps ago. It all blends together when you do a full day, like I have. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, it ranks 4 and 5, duking it out here. And I mean, if anything, Eternity really does have a lot to fight for. I feel like they've been the team that, at least on the caster desk, we voted as the team that would win this series. And Phil, before we get too deep into it, I'll ask your opinion. Who do you think is going to come out as the winner of this matchup?
Oof, that's tough. I definitely, like I said earlier, I think Eternity has a lot of talent on their team. They definitely have what it takes to come out here and win this. But, you know, Indomitable is no slouch. It's going to be a close match, but my money's on Eternity.
Dr. Turt will find the first kill to open up the round there, and definitely a forward defensive position here, Bob, to catch out one of those early rotators.
I'm only concerned a little bit for Dr. Turt right now. I mean, had a good opening frag, but is in a very difficult spot. Yeah, there's so many angles to watch, and Fly will ultimately intercept there. But look at this Frostbite looking to pick up a refrag, and will secure a refrag. This positioning from Indomitable is really doing them a lot of favors right now. Now, Proxy is looking, and we see, interestingly enough, from Eternity, a double drone strategy. I think the drone has really helped them out in previous rounds, and that they've identified that. It is helping them a lot, and so they're just looking for those roamers from Indomitable. Right now, though, they're just burning some extra time, and again, we're seeing that pressure that Indomitable is putting on Eternity. They're just slowing them down as much as possible. When you have those roamers, like Dr. Turt and Frostbite, they have to make sure that they clear them on the other team, which burns more time. Then they can use those incendiaries and those frags and those smokes to stall them even longer. And then eventually, if you can burn enough time, you can force them to make a reckless move. And that's what we've seen on round 2 from Eternity. They ultimately didn't have too much time left to make some kind of a move. And we'll see if it happens to them on this round right now.
Indeed we will, as we do get into the meat of it. On B site, plenty of door blockers to prevent entry. Smoke coming in from Penny Packer as they get prepped with their active camo on. They get almost killed by a tripfire and then fly in for a kill of their own. Proxy on the backside scoops up a kill, and B site's in control of Eternity. They do have Dan Katana to worry about, who picks up a quick 1-2 piece. Penny finds things even here in a 1v1, and with 7 HP, Penny is trying to push in. Could go down to an immolation nade if they're not careful. Goes down to a bullet to the elbow. And that's the round into the hands of Indomitable.
So close there. I mean, I really like what I saw from Eternity with the adjustment. I mean, if you look back, the last time we were on the bottom site there, it was on the pistol round. And it was that slaughterhouse situation. Eternity, they got the opening pick, took a lot of damage. Then they piled everything in through storage. And the defensive hold from Indo was really strong. And the adaptation is exactly what I wanted to see from them. They spread out this time. They went through assembly. They took a lot more map control before they pushed into the bomb site rather than piling into one. I think maybe a play through the electric side could have paid a little bit better, because assembly is very difficult, as we saw there. There's a lot of hiding places for the defense you got to root out. But it almost worked. They had the map control. They pinched in from the side. You saw Pennypacker pushing in through the hole in the wall as the backstab came in through assembly. They got the crossfire. They got the plant, and it was just off the back of a huge play there from Dan Katana that saved that round for Indomitable. So, even though it didn't pay off, I really liked what I saw from Eternity in that round.
Yeah, they're trying out whatever they can to get that upper edge, and it certainly is working out for them so far. I mean, well, it's not working out for them, but now we'll see if they can get another one on the board. They're coming close, at least, and they're giving Indomitable a hard time for all of these rounds. No easy wins coming in on either side, as Eternity, again, come in on a partial bye here for round 5.
And we see these drones once again from Eternity, just scouting out Frostbite, taking out that drone. But Pennypacker bought a second one as we see Eternity getting ready to double drone once again. I think it's a very valuable strategy here. You don't often see a double drone, but they're just looking for that information. However, I think at this point, maybe Indomitable are starting to anticipate that double droning strategies. That's an interesting trip mine over in Site B, as we see the Ace, who's now subbed in for Eternity over in lockers right now. 2 minutes on the clock as they're stepping up the pace here a little bit on Eternity. Dr. Turt tossing a frag, and that was actually a good frag if somebody was there, but luckily for Eternity, they didn't have anyone positioned in that part of lockers. There's the foam on the cubby wall right now as Crimson just tucking inside the cubby. A minute 40 on the clock right now. We saw Eternity, it looked like they might be getting a little bit aggressive, but they started to ease up the push a little bit more. And we just don't see Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that site A push one through Cubby. The other one might come through. Yep, there it is through blue vendings right now. Frag toss deep into site A as Crimson will push out onto Proxy. And that's the EMP dropped right there in storage. A frag toss out the blue vendings walls. Crimson finds the ace. Frostbite taking out Juice. It's now just down to Fly and Pennypacker. Fly will take out Dan Katana. It's a 4 versus 2 right now. They do not have possession of EMP as Crimson coming on the flank through blue vendings right now. Just jiggle peeking. Pennypacker's got a good angle. They're just anticipating. Very nice read from Pennypacker, who pre-fired that, found that kill on Crimson. It's now a 3 versus 2. Definitely doable for Eternity, but Frostbite will take out Pennypacker. That just leaves Fly, who's got to secure that EMP and then 1v3 this or somehow get the EMP planted and last another minute.
It's doable, but Dr. Turret has an idea of where that EMP is, and it's just putting shots through the wall, guessing and defending that EMP from being picked up. They'll catch the kill on to Fly through that wall, and it is Indomitable up 4-1 right now on map number 1. Again, a reminder, this is a best of 3 series, so we could go to 3 maps, but if Indomitable win it in 2 maps, then we are done, and they advance on to go up against Acer. Phil, this team's looking good right now as they do a great job defending.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost feel the momentum from the team. They got to be feeling it as a team. They're stringing things together. Everything's working. They're winning all the crucial gunfights. People are stepping up and making plays where they need to. Indomitable is on a roll right now. So, I mean, Eternity, we're not counting them out, but 4-1, it's going to be tough. They're going to have a massive defensive side in order to get back in on this map, and hopefully they're able to squeeze one more round here out in the first half. Going into the final round, things are looking a bit grim. They got an uphill battle in front of them for sure.
Yeah, it is definitely an uphill battle, but when we go to a side swap after this round, maybe it'll be a chance for them to get back into things on the defense. They could get their foot in the door with the second round here, Gib. That would be pretty powerful. They do have the full buy, well, partial buy. We do see a Kadia, an Oral, excuse me, and an RCP coming in on Eternity's side, but, you know, maybe they can make some magic happen on the attack here and put up 2 attacking rounds.
When we were with Hertaj earlier, he said that this map lends itself a little bit more to the defense, although it does depend on the sites, according to Hertaj. So we could see the pace of this game change drastically once Indomitable finds themselves on the offense. It all depends on how well they play. But currently, we do see Dr. Turret over in assembly as there's a breach on that assembly wall. Pennypacker coming from quite far away over on the bridge in assemblies. It looks like it's going to be kind of a 2-prong here. One from assembly, the other from orange storage. We dare I say might see a 3-prong if they decide to pop a wall into A. It doesn't look like that's what it's going to be, though. That might be a few too many angles to manage from Eternity. As we see they're just stacking up in orange storage right now, but Indomitable not getting aggressive this time. And this is an interesting way to play this. They've had 2 roamers, for the longest time, but now they're keeping their players very close to the site. There's a frag tossed out along with a smoke. Not going to catch anybody on Indomitable right now. 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Pennypacker making their way over to site A right now, over to that, I think that's that soft wall out there. It's Dr. Turret finding that kill on Proxy. Here comes another smoke as Brabadabado will find that kill on the Ace. 1:15 on the clock is another incendiary's toss, again stalling that push for as long as possible. But here comes Pennypacker through assemblies. Dr. Turret pushing out, finding Juice, looking for another on Fly, but here comes Pennypacker, and nobody's been watching that angle over into assembly as Pennypacker secures the kill on to Brabadabado. Pennypacker with the double, but Frostbite will secure the kill on Pennypacker, and Fly also went down there. That's a 5-1 lead from Indomitable heading into the second half, and things are starting to look very, very dicey for Eternity.
I mean, Phil, I don't know about you, but that looked like a very confident, Indomitable defense pushing in to find those final kills.
Yeah, I think Eternity were a bit frustrated. I mean, they had to deal with the bottom floor bomb spawn 3 times, and after how that first pistol round went, and then coming so close their second try with the play through assembly, and then just to have it slip away off the back of a huge play from Dan Katana. Going into it the third time, I mean, this map, this is tough. This is a tough situation being down with this much momentum, having everything just going against you. to keep the team's mental focus and push forward. But they're a solid team. Even if they can't pull this map back from down 5-1, I'm not going to count them out. On defense, they could easily drop 6 rounds in a row. I mean, not easily, but it's possible. That having been said, I think they're going to come back to map 2 with fresh start, with a clear head, and put everything they have on the line. And I mean, this is single elimination. They have to take the series in order to advance to the next round. So going into the first round of the second half, I think they're going to stay level-headed.
Yep, hopefully they will. Everything indicated they would based on their interview, their team composition, the players' style. I feel like they would be able to deal with this pressure. And Juice up here. Proxy actually the first to find a kill, but Juice is positioned up here as well. They'll find Crimson and Dan Katana to open things up, and that's one way to start your defensive set.
And look at the start here from Eternity. Wow, an amazing start here as they take out 3 of those Indomitable players. It's just Brabadabado and Dr. Turret. And look at this. I mean, Eternity are nowhere near the site. There's 3 of them who are upstairs. Now a 4th one moving over there. The battle is, completely away from the sites as we see Proxy taking up Brabadabado. Is now just down to Dr. Turret, who's got a 1v5 here, but Pennypacker securing that kill. And already we're seeing Eternity changing things around, bringing it back on the defense here. And I mean, this could be a sign that things are going to start going Eternity's way. Right now, they can still win. They have to bring it back, 5 rounds in a row. But it could happen.
Phil, let's get real deep into get your tinfoil hat on, would you? Because I don't want to hurt you here. Yeah, I don't want to hurt you. Do you think that this is Eternity getting their foot in the door with 1 round and then banking that they're going to put up a clean or almost perfect defensive set and kind of throw off Indomitable a little bit, play the mind games a touch? Because, man, that defensive set was perfect. They clearly had an aggressive plan to hold that objective down on that top floor. It pays off perfectly. And now we go into another round where they have not necessarily a big buy. They've got a rifle and an omen coming in.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense that Eternity is locked right now. It's little things. Like even at the end of the round, Pennypacker had the wherewithal to pick up the trip and save that extra 200. They are locked in and dialed right now. So if they get the momentum on their side, I know that they believe that they can sweep this 6-0 and just take map 1 the way things are without even, at least the draw even is definitely still on the table. So yeah, it's going to be a good map.
Interestingly enough, though, I think what we're seeing from Indomitable last time, they had the idea to enter the map, all the way from the roof. But this time they're playing a lot closer to the site. They're worried about those roamers. You can definitely tell it bothered them in that previous round. So they're playing a lot closer to the site this time. But so is Eternity. They're a bit spread out, but they don't have way too many people on the roamers except for Juice, who Indomitable are currently looking for right now. Brabadabado about to round the corner as Juice might get that first shots on there, and will find Brabadabado. Frostbite looking to secure a refrag, but Crimson will find it instead. 2 minutes on the clock right now, and it's a 4 versus 4. They're firing those Vezin shots through the site A wall. They're looking to breach through electrical and orange hallway. But it's definitely not going to be easy for Indomitable.
For those not in the know, the way that grenades work is if you throw them and they don't, and you grab them before they detonate, you can redirect them as a nade comes in there and does some good damage onto Indomitable. That one wasn't redirectable. This one, however, maybe they'll be able to get one through here, down onto Penny, who's tucked into a very tight corner, could really threaten the entry here into this wall. You also have Proxy on the backside, who finds one. Penny with the omen on the short corner, looking to be a threat on this short side, and they will find another. The full team comes together to get rid of the Indomitable offense, and they only lose 1. They've lost 1 player in 2 rounds so far, Phil. They are definitely starting to get momentum.
Yeah, the tables have flipped here. I mean, in the first half, everything was going the way of Indomitable. They were winning all the fights. They were stepping up and making the huge plays. And so seeing that flawless round and that almost flawless second round shows that, things are swinging in Eternity's favor. And, like I said, they're going to run with it as far as they can. But we're coming into the first gun round here, so I mean, I've been hyping up Eternity this whole time. No bias. Indomitable has some experience as well. I don't think their mental is going to shake at the drop of a hat either. So I think they're going to take a look. This is our first round on attack with guns, and they're looking to get to map point here. this is going to be the biggest, most hype round of this map so far, and it's going to set the pace. It's either Eternity setting the next step towards at least tying this map, if not just stealing it away, or Indomitable getting up to that map point, locking in the tie at the minimum, and having some momentum shift in their favor.
Oof, the pressure is on, Bob, as we do dive in around number 5, 6, 7, 8 of the series. Map number 1, if you're just tuning in a best of 3. So we could go to 3 maps here today, but that will be the last best of 3 today. We'll have another one tomorrow, same time, same place. So do be sure to tune in. You can see the live event has already been posted, so you can follow and get ready for that stream when it goes live. But for now, we are diving back into it for round 8. 9.
And here we have Crimson, Dan Katana, Brabadabido, all on the roof right now. They've popped open the storage hatch. Here's Frostbite over on blue stairs. And they're certainly having a difficult time breaking this Eternity defense. And it's, Eternity might have had their foot in the door, like Nightfire was saying, that they might be banking on this strategy of having that perfect defense. As Pennypacker dropping a double kill, taking out both Dan Katana and Brabadabido. Crimson finds Proxy, but dropping a double kill of their own, a triple kill of their own. As we see a 3 versus 2, and this could be big for Indomitable. It's the first time in the defensive half where they've had that player advantage. Now Crimson on 19 health. Frostbite tagged a bit, but will get a heal off there. There's 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock as Fly dropping Dr. Turt. It's starting to look a little bit more dangerous for Indomitable. 2 versus 2 here. They both have about the same weapons and utility, and it could go either way at this point.
It is anyone's game here in the 5v3. Minute 20 on the clock as Indomitable get ready for B site. Maybe they have the EMP in hand. Crimson is pushing in. The ace catches Frostbite out, trying to go through the open hole in the wall. Smoke here deterring any real visual confirmation on where Crimson is. And the face is shooting through the wall. They're not even exposed to Crimson. It's a pretty standard strategy to hold down B, because you can assume where a player is and just kind of guess with wall-bang shots to hold them down, as Crimson now in the 1v2 continues to inch forward to B. They could plant here.
Yeah, this is such a dangerous spot for Crimson to be in. I mean, you've got the possibility of Fly approaching from your left. You've got the Ace on the right in generators there. Crimson actually moved up a bit. And this, if the Ace decides to push Crimson, that might throw off the Ace a little bit, because they might be expecting Crimson to be in a different spot. But Fly coming through connector, picking up that kill on Crimson. Not good for Indomitable. That's going to shut down their chances for at least a couple more rounds. And we could certainly see either a draw or an Eternity win on this first map, because they've been playing very, very well on this defense here.
Yep, it really could be a draw or an Eternity win, which is, well, I don't think what people necessarily anticipated when Indo came out 5-1, and we're looking so good on defense. The reason, however, is because of the map, at least so it seems, because defense is looking good for Eternity now, too. They very clearly were ready for this defensive side. They have great plans so far to really counteract Indomitable. They are coming in prepared, and that's likely due to VOD. I mean, that's what if anything, I'm seeing some reads, direct counter plays against them. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're seeing that give, but that, especially that starting play for the reset on defense, that was, I think, a counter against Indomitable. They read their preferred style on that map and had a play ready to go against them.
It certainly could be. I mean, yeah, there are a couple of those Indomitable games. So if Eternity did their homework against Indomitable, then yeah, it certainly could be a very big contributing factor into why they're pulling off a great defense right now. Also could be the map. There's a lot of different factors, that depend on how well a team plays. But we see Indomitable putting a lot of pressure here on Eternity. Eternity have pushed up a ways into orange storage as Proxy's pushed into a static field emitter, but will find that kill on Frostbite. Frag drop by Eternity, giving Proxy the ability to escape. Pennypacker tossing another frag, won't find anybody. Actually tags Dan Katana a little bit, so they know somebody's out there. as we see 2 minutes 10 seconds left on the clock. An annoying proximity alarm from Eternity is just going to make this a really difficult push for Indomitable at this point. They're trying to pivot their strategy a little bit and find some other way to get in, but right now this is going to be a very tough push for them.
I mean, that's a static emitter and an audio transmitter deterring 3 players from pushing in through an angle. Take note of this if you play this game. The effectiveness of utility should never go understated. They have completely adjusted their approach to go all the way around to A site now after assessing B and ultimately setting Crimson up to flank in through the hatch. They're going to rotate off and they're going to reposition to A because of 2 utility pieces, a static emitter and audio transmitter. That pushed them away. It was utilized well, of course, by the defense. Hats off to Eternity for that setup. But that deters them from entering in, and now they're getting ready to push into A site.
Yeah, definitely don't understate the value of utility in this game. I've seen plenty of rounds over here at the VRML where the difference was just in utility. Now, Crimson's been shut off on the flank over there by proxies. There's less than a minute, and ultimately we're seeing the same strategy that Indomitable used on Eternity, where they just stalled, for so long as Fly Drops 2 and Eternity have tied this game up. And if Indomitable don't secure a round, within this next round, if they don't get this, then Eternity will move on to match point, and then they can push for victory. So I think maybe this was an oversight by Indomitable. I'm not sure how the map picking and banning went, who picked what, but this is certainly a very interesting idea from Eternity, and I think it's working very well for them.
It really does feel like it is going in their way right now. Phil, your thoughts on Eternity and Indomitable tied 5-5 here in map 1?
I mean, the ball is rolling. Like I predicted, once they got that momentum into their favor. I mean, you saw a couple rounds ago, that last round was a save round, so Indomitable had their work cut out for them. But the round before that, they had another big play off the back of Crimson, who, I really like. First of all, I want to shout out to what Juice has been doing. He's been finding these really aggressive off angles that have been netting him at least one good trade kill every round. In that round, 2 rounds ago, they as a team managed to push up and find some counter aggression, and Crimson managed to step up and somehow find a triple kill and give Indo the man advantage, which they hadn't seen here on the attacking side yet. But Eternity were able to stay calm, made the 2v3 happen, found a couple of kills and closed it out. So they're on a roll right now, and it's going to take a lot for Indomitable to break this momentum.
Right into the action we go, Gib.
As Dr. Tur taking a fly there, Proxy will secure a kill on Crimson. It's a 4 versus 4 here. Very, very early into the round. We're not even half a minute in, and we've already had some kills. Brab out of it. Oh, right in front of the bathroom window. Almost caught by Proxy there, who's still challenging that window out onto gravel right now. 2 minutes 20 on the clock as Pennypacker will take out Frostbite. We're seeing a very fragmented push from Indomitable. I think they need to group up, in some way here. To put a little more pressure on Eternity. They're getting pushed into these 1 versus 1 situations, and ultimately they're not winning them. So they need to stick together as an offense. At least I think that's what they need to do, on this site right now. But of course, you can't see where everybody is when you're playing, in the level that they are. So, they could be expecting a much different push over on Indomitable.
Yeah, indeed. Dan here tucked into the tight corner, giving away their position by using that grappling hook, that audio cue. Proxy picks up on that. So they're a little bit more keen on the idea that there is somebody out here on this outer patio, but maybe a bit too keen because they have rotated off all the way back to the other side, and maybe they're going to be looking to pinch in back towards B because A doesn't seem to look good for them right now. Either that or they're going to get control of the upper floor, open up the hatch, and then work their way down in towards A. A does seem to be the play, but look at all the work they have to do, Bob. They got to clear this whole top floor if they want to do that. That's not the play as Ace goes down, and it is going to be a rotation to B if they want to have any chance of trying to get onto this site.
Oh, it's been kind of heartbreak here for Indomitable. They came into this game so strong, And in this second half, it's just, wow, it's really fallen apart for them right here. It's a 2 versus 4. Still possible, but everything is riding on this game right now as Brabadabado will find the kill on the Ace, will be refragged by Proxy. It's now just down to Dan Katana, who has that cloak and the heal on 70 health, though. Half a minute on the clock. Oh, this is going to be so close if Indomitable can win this one, as we see Proxy over in kill box right now. Might be getting ready to swing onto Dan Katana. Here it comes. Proxy going for a blind fire. That's going to bait out Dan Katana, so they know somebody's back there. It looks like Dan Katana just going to rotate out. You know, honestly, maybe the play here is to just salvage and try and tie it up in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that even saving is going to help much at this stage. You look at their economy.
Yeah.
If they lose, they're in big. I mean, yeah, they have no money. They're going in to this last round 6-5 with almost no cash in pocket. They're, I guess, maybe getting a little bit. Oh no, they have some consecutive win bonus coming in at this stage, this late in. So you actually do see them with enough to pick up a few rifles. But still, not a full buy coming in on the Indomitable side. And, I mean, what's the play here for Indomitable, Phil?
I mean, they actually did really good. Surprisingly, with that max loss bonus and saving that one Vezin, he was able to drop that Vezin and buy another one for himself. So they've got almost a full buy here going into the last round. They've played the money game pretty tight, playing for the win while still having the chance to get the tie as an insurance was the no-brainer, but it's tough. I mean, the Eternity's on a roll. They're feeling it. Their defense is on fire right now. They haven't lost a single round. You know, 5 rounds in a row here in the second half. It's going to be tough. There doesn't seem to be a chink in the armor, so to speak, that Indomitable can exploit here as we get into the last round. We're going to have to see something special as an opening kill comes out from Dan Katana.
Look at that, Dan Katana finding Proxy early. That could have been very, very bad. But Crimson finding the kill on Pennypacker. Oh my goodness, could we see it here? This would be a very, very big shock if first map ends in a tie. But currently the Ace Fly just firing some shots through that blue vending wall. I can barely hear myself think with how loud that unsuppressed Cadillo is. We see a frag tossed way into the back of the site as, look at this, Indomitable getting that EMP planted. It's been planted. Fly taking out Crimson, and I mean, if they can get somebody on the roof right now to contest that storage hatch, this could be massive for Indomitable. The Ace taking out Brabadabado. They need to get somebody upstairs right now, but we do see Juice. Oh, Juice is on the flank watch over there. Dan Katana looking for that kill on Juice, and this was well played by Indomitable.
Huge kill there for Juice on the outside onto Dan Katana, and it's up to Dr. Turt, who gets scooped up. Frostbite's alone on the roof. Like you said, Vital, they're up there, but they have an RCP in hand. Not exactly a mid-range combat weapon used for those short quarter fights, and they lose in that fight. Eternity, with Fly and Juice left alive, advance on with a 1-map lead in this best of 3, 7-5. Just barely, but what a battle this has started to be with the North American top 8 single limb. Exactly what we anticipated, Phil, and, well, it's the full distance. We went 12 rounds here in map 1.
Are you not entertained? I mean, what better start to this matchup could we see than the first map looking to be one-sided, and then having Eternity from a 5-1 deficit come back 6 rounds straight, sweep the defensive half, take the first map, steal it away from Indo. You know that's got to sting a little bit for the Indomitable fans out there. Felt like they had the first one almost in the bag, or at least a tie. And that last round started out so well as well. They got the opening pick onto Proxy, the sweep from Crimson through the hatch, managed to catch another. They had a 5v3. They got the plant for the hatch. It was a 3 versus 5 retake with the EMP planted for the hatch, and somehow Eternity managed to swing it around. Juice with a huge kill on the outside, stopped them from getting a really strong foothold on the defense. It was an amazing first map. I'm so hyped. Can't wait to see what they got for the second map.
I can't either. I don't know how quickly we are going to be diving into the action, but a quick gander at the scoreboard before we do get into any more of these maps here in this best of 3. Fly with 12, Pennypacker with 12, big standout shooters there. Indomitable, their kill leader, with 11, And well, it's I mean, shoot. Stand out, shoot. That's what I love about you. Really can carry a team with one player if you are good enough. Two players working together can be really good. Everybody pulling their weight, like we saw from both teams really this afternoon, puts you in a fantastic battle back and forth. And I think we're gonna go to a little bit of a break here this afternoon, but I do want to make sure that that's the case. So I'm going to work on confirming that as we stall. And while we stall, I will shout out everyone that is tuning in and enjoying the action here this afternoon. We really do appreciate your support. We've had a few super chats, I think, that I have missed. We really do appreciate those. Those dollar amounts go back into supporting the VRML and helping us put on all of the broadcasting you see, and putting all the work into those interviews and the content and all the whole show that has been today and what will be tomorrow. It takes a lot of work, and ultimately that monetary support helps keep the lights on and it enables us to do this kind of stuff. So we really do appreciate that support. And if you can't support monetarily, please do consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up button. All of that is free and really helps us with the algorithm and getting more people to learn about VRML and learn about breachers. If you don't know about VRML and you are tuning in, welcome in. Hit that subscribe button. We do content here regularly, and we have one final weekend left tomorrow and one final weekend left of action this season. But we do seasons, multiples for multiple games. So if you do want to check out VRML, head on over to VRML.com. We just announced a league for X8, a popular hero shooter, much like Valorant in VR. And Veil, a popular FPS that we just announced 2 leagues for. Those will be starting, I think Veil starts January 15th, so in 2 days. So if you wanted to jump into that preseason, you can right now. We'll be doing broadcasts like we do here for that Veil League, and we also will do that for X8. So keep your eyes peeled on all of the breachers spaces, on all the VRML spaces, because VRML really is hitting the ground running with the new year, and we're really excited about all the leagues we're adding into the roster. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. I do think we're headed to a break. I'm getting no confirmation, but with all the players dropping out of lobby, I assume we're charging headsets, grabbing water, and getting ready on their side. So we might as well do that here on our side as well. We could be in store for a best of 3 unless Eternity have anything to say about it. So everyone stick by, hang out, go get some popcorn, get ready for the next map, but don't go anywhere, because we still got more action here tonight for the North American Top 8 single elimination bracket in Season 1. But until then, we're taking a brief break, so stick around.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Back, everybody, to the Breachers VRML Season 1 Top 8 NA Single Elimination. We have to get right into the action. We are getting into map number 2, an Eternity and Indomitable, and it is taking us to ship. excited to get into this one here on round number 1. Phil, it is Eternity on the defense, Indomitable on the attack. Your thoughts before we get into the action?
Yeah, interesting map choice here. I know I was on a team with Fly not long ago, and he does like this map. I know that for sure. Look, them starting on the defense makes me wonder if this was an Indomitable pick, but either way, excited to see Ship. We don't get to see it a lot here on VRML, so I'm excited to see it here in the playoffs. And yeah, let's see what this brings.
And here we go, entry into the helm already by Indomitable. Dr. Turt getting a little dangerous there, looking for Fly through that communications wall. Won't quite find that kill, however, picking up a tad bit of damage. But we see 2 minutes 40 left on the clock right now. Indomitable on the move. They've got entry on both sides of the helm right now. Proxy just standing in the back up on the monitor right there. The Ace over by the table, and it looks like it might be that 2-prong, one from the long hallway, the second from the helm. 2 minutes 20 is Indomitable getting ready to press this attack.
Utility is so powerful in the early round here. In the pistol round, the nades can do so much damage as Dr. Turp finds one. Proxy with a quick refrag on the defensive side as they hold things down, but the breach is coming in, and the pressure is here on A site. Juice is on a bit of a rotation to try and pinch from the new hole in the wall that they opened up, but they get caught out. That nade does do some good damage, catches Bravo on the other side. Crimson rotating in, and Juice catches that kill out to make it a 1v1.
Just down to Dan Katana and Juice right now. Dan Katana on that health advantage, looking for Juice, but is tagged a little bit. It could go either way at this point. Plenty of time for Indomitable to make a move, but Dan Katana does not have possession of the EMP. It's all the way on the other side of communications right now. Juice over in navigation, looking to cross back over in communications, just looking for Dan Katana, going back over to that breach. And you see that as Dan Katana looks to swing and find some more damage on Juice. And it's getting very, very close here. Minute 10 in this final 1v1 clutch of this round. But Dan Katana will find the kill on Juice. And it's a great start for Indomitable here on Ship.
Well, they certainly need it. They're down 7-5, map 1 to the hands of Eternity. They need a good start, and I mean, to take one round on offense may be all they need, Phil, if they want to swap sides and do a good, solid defensive hold, much like we saw on Factory.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Their offense here on Ship already netting better results than they did on Factory. Brilliant start. I mean, I still want to point out, though, Juice seems to be the master of throwing a wrench in the attacking idea of Indomitable. We saw it on Factory. He was finding these off angles, these aggressive positions to kind of hide in the corner and catch them off guard with big plays. In this round in particular, he pushed up that long hallway on a unique timing, found an interesting kill through a nade around the corner, and then just wasn't able to finish it up in the 1v1 there. But so far, this map is already heating up. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Oh, it is exactly what you tune into for if you want to catch good battles back and forth. The VRML Season 1 Top 8 elimination tournament here has delivered so far, with really our number 1 seed proving why they're number 1 seed and dominating their matchup. And now these 4 and 5 seeds battling it out for a chance to advance on. You love to see the competition unfold, and maybe a chance for Indomitable to take map number 2 and push us to that map 3 decider, which could be we've had a couple of them already, so it's not out of the question by any means, but we'll have to see if Eternity can kind of lock things in here on defense and put some more rounds on the board. They're going up against 3 rifles on Indomitable's side.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the argument that Ship is a very defense-sided map. So for Indomitable to swing out of the gate immediately with that round, that could be a very nice setup for Indomitable later on here. They've already got 3 round 2 Vesnas, so they're looking to push this advantage as much as possible. And actually, take a look at this right now. Pump is completely open. There's nobody in Pump. There's nobody in Workshop. Frostbite finding that kill on Fly, but really right now, if Indomitable pushes through either of this, that breach there, I mean, they could easily get that EMP planted and then just sit outside. So Yeah, this is a very, very interesting round so far. It looks like Eternity moving back over into Workshop right now, getting ready to reoccupy Pump, but the EMP's already going down. Dan Katana planning that. Frostbite finding the kill on the Ace, but will be refragged by Juice as Pennypacker goes down to Dr. Turk. Crimson finding Proxy as Juice dropping 2 to Phil's point. Yeah, Juice definitely the master of throwing a wrench into those Indomitable plans, but looking the wrong way right now. Might be caught by Dan Katana, but is in a really tough situation. I mean, at this point, Juice is on 11 health and has to 1v2, and one of them has a Vezin. Oh my goodness, but Juice finding the kill on Dan Katana. Crimson with the refrag, however, shutting down that plan from Eternity there, and that was a nail-biter.
That was so close, back and forth, down to a 1v1. Phil, how many 1v1s are we going to have today? It's insane how we keep trading back and forth. I think it's an indicator of the skill of both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think Juice had Indo sweating bullets there as much as we were tensed up on the casting desk. He saw how close it was. He got that in 1v2 with so little health and just a pistol to his name against 2 remaining Vezins, finding the kill, swinging out, almost getting the headshot onto Crimson there. Just so intense, such great back and forth action. And now they have rifles. I mean, there's a small payoff from that last kill that he got in the sense that one of the players has a Cadillo. Actually, we got a bot substitution. He has enough money to upgrade. But anyway, you see the benefit. Even after buying 3 Vezins and only having 1 person survive, they're still able to full buy on the team of Indo. 5 Vezins strong. And yeah, this is the first buy round. This is always where things really heat up. Getting those first 2 rounds could prove to be very important for Indomitable.
Protube made it back in time, so they get their full kit, as you'd expect. Vezins across the board with that pistol in hand. Dan Katana actually the one that's going to be scouting out here, so rifles for everyone here on both sides. The full toolkit coming out. And will Eternity be able to get on the board is the big question this afternoon. Gibbs ship really not going their way, especially on defense when it should be going their way on defense.
Yeah, I mean, it could all come down to how they play on offense. You know, I've noticed they have kind of similar play styles from what we're seeing over here. They kind of play in a similar manner to each other, and they know how to counter each other. So it's been a very interesting matchup so far, and it could mean that, when we see that side swap, that Eternity might actually be a lot better on the offense. It's too early to tell, but we'll find out. Crimson taking out Pennypackers. It's kind of equal trades on both sides right now. 2 minutes on the clock, though. Indomitable have used up a whole minute of their time. They need to kind of figure out where they want to go here right now, but it looks like they're starting off over in the Helm, but it's looking like it might be a different plan now. They're just trying to organize themselves.
Yeah, they are, finding kills as Ace scoops up a double. Brabadabato, Dr. Turk go down. Proxy cleans up Crimson, and it leaves Dan Katana alone, who does find at least a refrag onto Proxy, but they are alone in a 1v3 effort here, and Eternity completely turned the tides when they needed to the most. And while it's not over yet, and Dan could find a triple kill to lock in and clutch things up for their team, Eternity finally has some footing underneath them.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the argument of Ship being a defense-sided map, then it's really interesting because Indomitable have already picked up 2 rounds ahead of Eternity. So if they have a really good defensive stint now, they could be in trouble once Indomitable move over to the defense. So, I actually want to ask Phil, would you push this 1v3, or would you do what Dan Katana's doing here, recovering 2 heals in the Vezin and just saving?
I think the save is the clear play here. The chances of managing to pull this, especially you think about it, we're in the playoffs right now. Yeah. None of these Eternity members are going to give you an inch. Maybe if the stakes weren't so high, you could play a little sneaky, catch a little bit of over-aggression on one of the players, bring it down to a 1v2, and then step up and make a play, maybe even isolate 1v1s all the way through. But here the stakes are too high, and there's too much value to taking that Vezin into the next round. Even if they save, just having a rifle in your hands can do so much more damage to the money, can get a couple of Vezins in the hands of some of your teammates and really help you steal a round away. Yeah, I think this is the right call, playing on the roof. And I just want to say, while I'm here, that Eternity's adaptation in this matchup has been amazing. We're back on the top floor once again, And you saw in the pistol round how quickly Indo was able to take control of that front control room, and then pressure onto A. The whole round just kind of unfolded from there. Eternity still almost managed to clench that one, but this time they put some counter aggression. The Ace tucked into an aggressive spot, picked up a nice double kill, and then Proxy and Ace both swung out and put some counter pressure into that front helm room, and they didn't allow them to get the grip hold onto the map that they did on the pistol, and it's paying off dividends.
Oof, we are into the thick of it here with round number 4 about to kick off, and these teams setting up and getting ready for the action. That eco, that save from Indomitable enables 2 rifles to come in on Indomitable's side. In comparison, we're seeing the Canut come in from Pennypacker. I remember early on, identifying that Canut as a good, solid utility piece was Penny, and if anything, they almost, dare I say, pioneer its usefulness. We'll have to see how useful it really is as they are investing into it here this afternoon. And they could be, I don't think picking up a rifle, but they are investing into it here to try and do some early defensive action. With the windows already opening up, Juice finds one right away.
And here we go. We see that drone from Indomitable. And I mean, we can already see it. More Canuts being used by Eternity. Yeah, they're definitely pretty good with them. I know Rect, who's made entry into the VRML this season, they're very good with the Canuts as well. So it'd be kind of interesting to see these two teams go against each other. But yeah, right now we're seeing Indomitable. I mean, it's rough because they're already starting off a whole player down, and it's gonna hurt their push a lot. They only have 2 Vezins up, so what they decide to do here is going to be very, very important. We see that proximity alarm going off. That's going to alert Eternity to where that Indomitable push is coming from. We see Pennypacker over in Infirmary right now. Proxy just getting ready to peek that red hallway. As Crimson getting foam on that Infirmary wall, looking for Pennypacker, will find that kill on Pennypacker. And it's a 4 versus 4. Now, the only player on Eternity that didn't have a Vezin has gone down. They still have all 4 rifle players to take out.
Yeah, it is definitely a tall order. The Shoddy was there playing aggressive. Dr. Turk has a Shoddy of their own. They may try and put some kills down on the board with, but yeah, so far not finding too much with that shot, that Canut on Pennypacker's side. Everyone, like you said, tucked in and ready to go though, and so far just poking and prodding. Indomitable just kind of assessing if they're finding any action through that wall, catching anybody out in any sort of the standard defensive position. And they don't find anybody, so now they open up the door blocker, they open up the wall, and the push starts to come through.
Juice taking out Brabadabado as a frag toss deep into kitchen will find Proxy. It's a 3 versus 3 right now with less than a minute. Juice finding that kill on Crimson as Indomitable need to start making a move here. They've got 50 seconds left. They've got to do something, but Eternity are just shutting them out. Juice finding the kill on Dan Katana, dropping a second on Dr. Turt, and Juice is on fire in this matchup here. You can see it, and wow, I mean, yeah, definitely. Like Phil said, Juice throwing that wrench in those Indomitable plans.
Pretty regularly, Phil. Spot on there on that call. Juice doing an absolute vital job in holding things down. A key round that ties things up, puts them 2-2, and we're into it now. I mean, this is what we get. This is what we're gonna get. Eternity fighting and Indomitable right in there competing for it.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot about the adaptations that I've been seeing from Eternity and that I've been liking. And now I want to comment on what I think Indomitable needs to do to push these attacking rounds over the edge. You know, they have some attacking ideas. They had a nice smoke into the A bomb site, but then it's just Juice in that one spot that they're unable to root him out. That doesn't allow them to complete that push. I think they need to just commit to their attacking ideas a little bit more. And just send it. You know, when you have an idea to take a bomb site and you get to that point where you're standing at the door, just make the call 3, 2, 1 and have everybody push through it. And really, that's going to be the difference maker for them to steal any more of these rounds away in the first half.
I do got to shout out a quick couple of super chats coming in, one from Butterman and one from Yoda. We really do appreciate the support. It does mean a lot to us here at the VRML, and it does help keep the old lights on, as they say, for VRML here. So big shout out to you folks that have been donating. We really do Appreciate that support, and we're into the action with A-side opened up. Fly catching a kill on the top floor already.
And there's a frag tossed out through pump. That's going to catch Dr. Turt. Yeah, it's just, I think Phil made a very good point. You got to stick and commit to these pushes. We see Fly taking out Crimson, and already Indomitable losing 2 players here. Now, again, if they have more pace on the defense, then we may see them bring it back. They've given themselves some wiggle room, but Juice finding the kill on Frostbite, it's still not a reason to slack off in this first half, though. You don't want to ease up too much just because you've got 2 rounds secured. Indomitable need to keep pushing here, but ultimately, I think maybe what you do here is save.
Yeah, it's certainly something that wouldn't be a bad choice. Gives you the best opportunity of tying the first half 3-3. The 2v5 is definitely a a pretty unlikely reality, so surprised to see them still going for it, to your point. And now with Dr. Turtle alone, they really almost have to save. If they don't, they're really not going to have much to go into the next round with.
Yeah, definitely. As we see, Dr. Turt is still peeking that breach. Oh man, this is scaring me, and I'm not even playing here. When we see, I mean, Dr. Turt could run into any of those Eternity players, and that would be a very, very difficult battle to win. Yeah, I'm of the opinion, maybe just save the heal, save your Vezin, and head up to the roof. There's a minute left. I'm not sure what Dr. Turt is going to do here. We're on round 5 right now, so there's one more round. I think at this point it's just save and scrape whatever you can together in the last round of the first half and see where it goes. What do you think, Phil? Oh my goodness! Wait, Dr. Turt is pushing into fire right now. Full sending, and his Fly catches that kill. Was that the right call there?
It's debatable. I tend to agree. It's something I noticed analyzing. I played a lot of Counter-Strike back in the day, and it's a big difference you see even at a lot of the top semi-pro teams versus the very top pro teams. They save in situations that we just don't see. Like, they'll save in a 3 versus 5 if a certain bomb site gets taken away in a bomb plant. They're just like, all right, this round is scrapped. We're saving these guns. And it's something I think as the meta progresses, you'll start to see a few top teams find a few of these small margins like that. But, I think it's funny because that him pushing in there is almost a sense of them kind of sticking to their guns. When they decided to full buy that round, they decided to play, they kind of knew they weren't going to be able to get a full buy this round. So I guess they just didn't think having one hero rifle would make a difference. They figured maybe he goes crazy. 1v5 ace clutch. I mean, it's happened before.
Yeah. We've seen some big plays across the board here this afternoon, and a quick look at the KDs on the board. Warranted, because when we do take a gander, we see Juice at 12-2 on Eternity's side. Dare I say, the standout shooter for the team that is helping them stay alive here and keeping this thing 3-2. Big kills for them, and in comparison, Crimson 6-4. Right there, and so some good amount of kills, but not as many as Juice has locked in so far this afternoon, as Eternity wants to lock in this first half and ultimately take the map to take the series.
Yeah, I've said it before. Yeah, Juice has just been on fire in this matchup, and that's definitely proof of it right there's Fly opening things up with a kill on Dan Katana. Juice taking out Arc. And wow, Proxy finding Crimson, and this push has not worked out at all for Indomitable. It looks like it's going to be that 4-2 game heading into the second half. You got Frostbite up on the roof right now. And honestly, it's going to be hard to challenge these long angles with just an RCP. I'd say it's close to medium range, but I wouldn't use it in a long range engagement.
No, I definitely agree with you there. It's going to be a tough order for the duo here with the SMGs in hand to make something happen. But maybe, obviously at this point you have to play. You can't eco, no saves, side swap after this, so you want to go in for some kills. So they're going to try and make something happen here. There's not going to be an eco, and it is going to be Dr. Turt and Frostbite trying to make some magic happen. You see Dr. Turt maybe trying to hype himself up, hype Frostbite up, who knows. But either way, they need to get hyped up for this push.
Yeah, as they move into storage right now. Oh, this is a nail biter right here. It's definitely going to be a hard fight. I mean, you're looking at an RCP and a Viper against a full 5 stack of Vezins, and they've got 4 syringes. So no matter which way you put it, Indomitable definitely have their work cut out for them here as we see a minute on the clock. Yeah, as Nightfire pointed out, not a reason to save. They don't have any more opportunities to do that. They're going to swap sides next round, and that'll be, kind of that reset that they need at this point. We see Eternity has kind of snowballed them in terms of eco at this point. 40 seconds left on the clock as the double frags are ready. That one didn't go where they wanted it to. A frag tossed by Eternity as we see just a bunch of artillery tossed by both sides. Half a minute here as they full send it, that frag into the middle of navigation. Proxy rotating over to the breach there. Less than half a minute on the clock right now as Dr. Turt and Frostbite still over in storage. Things are looking a little bit dangerous here for Indomitable. Proxy taking out Frostbite as Dr. Turt swings in, finds 1, finds 2, but won't secure that 3rd kill. Will be refragged by the Ace, and it's a 4-2 game heading into the second half. And honestly, there's still a lot of room for Indomitable to bring this back, depending on how well they play this.
Oh yeah, they are not out of this by any means. And I mean, again, you look at Little League Map 1 as an example of how scores work in the game of Breachers. They tend to go one-sided more often than not, although you do see sometimes team perfectly matched and they'll have those even rounds. But they tend to go one-sided because the map and its design almost favors a certain, well, and I guess it's random too because they're randomly picks where the objectives are. So some objectives may favor defense over offense, and so you can sometimes, I guess, quote unquote, get lucky in that you have most of your objectives defensive favored. But nonetheless, this map in itself tends to lend itself to the defense like Factory did. So we could very well see a defensive lockdown here from Indomitable, and they could come back into this, take map 2, and push us to a map 3 decider. If they don't, Eternity are just 3 rounds away from advancing on to those semifinals.
And we'll see. I mean, Eternity definitely have that mental boost right now. They've had a very, very nice comeback in the first half, starting off 2 rounds down to Indomitable and bringing it back 4. That's got to feel good. Although they may know that at this point they've got their hardest challenge ahead of them. They no longer are on the defense. They're giving Indomitable the rest of the game here to bring this back. Frostbite finding a kill on the Ace. And really their goal over here on Indomitable is to, at the very least, try and tie it to guarantee a 3rd map. But at this point, they're still looking for a win. We see Juice over by fire right now as Pennypacker will find the kill on Dr. Turt. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left as Juice tossing a frag over into Green Engine as Arc finding the kill on Proxy. Dan Katana looks to pick up a kill on Juice. Will go down to Juice. However, Crimson over on in Red Engine along with Frostbite, who's now crossing over to Green, looking for Juice, who's again just being a really big problem here for Indomitable. Fly finding that kill as Crimson will refrag Fly, and it's now a 2v2. This is an important round for both of these teams, as it could likely push Eternity into the win here, or it could give Indomitable the setup to bring it all the way back on defense. We see Arc looking for Juice, who's just on 2 health right here. If Juice trips, he'll probably die, as we see Crimson over by Gray Stairs. Crimson will swing on Juice as Arc finds the kill, and there you have it. Indomitable bringing it back on this 7th round to give them 1 round off of the tie.
I mean, come on, it is. Yeah, I think we're destined for a map 3. I really do. I feel like Indomitable have every chance ahead of them to lock in a good defensive hold here. They're going to get the nice hit on 2 of their players, at least with rifles in hand on defense. Going to be very hard for Eternity to break in through that top floor with just pistols, and it's at least going to be tied 4-4 here. And from there, what's the economy management like for Eternity? I think they will have enough to full buy, or at least almost full buy next round. But still, it is Indomitable here off of a big pistol round, starting things off just how they need to.
I'd like to talk for a second about, Bob hit it right on the head. On maps like these where it's so defensively stacked, the pistol round comes out so important. And Indomitable taking both of the pistol rounds here on this map is so huge. It netted them 2 rounds on attack, and here it stops Eternity from possibly netting that safe 2nd round after a round win.
And here we have entry over onto the helm, or at least they've taken out the barricade. Pennypacker looking for the drone here. We see Indomitable investing into this. We've got Dan Katana with the Taurus. May find some success there. We see Fly, bottom floor right now, making their way up the gray stairs and then heading up to blue. Looking to move up those stairs and just cut off any kind of Indomitable roamer, because Eternity does remember over on Factory their time with Indomitable roamers. And here's another reminder of that with Dr. Chert taking out the ace. Here comes the frag down the gray stairs. It's Juice looking for a potential refrag right now, and it's a 4 versus 5. Early into this round, we see Pennypacker still over by the helm, over by Coffee right now. It's Dr. Turt finding the kill on Fly, making this a 3 versus 5. Pennypacker in the window over by Coffee, picking up some damage from Turt, who hopefully won't overextend here. Yeah, Turt making the right call and rotating back into communications. Proxy looking for a kill, getting ready to swing, but there's a minute 50 left, and Eternity have their work cut out for them.
They certainly do. A 3v5 in front of them, preventing them from getting this round win, as there's a good kill, but a quick double. Arc has been subbed in for, I just saw them in chat.
Rabadabado.
Rabadabado, thank you. And they have picked up a double kill, so it is likely be locking in another round for the Indomitable defense. And there it is. The final kill from Crimson does the trick. We're tied up 4-4 here in this round. It is, I mean, anyone's guess as to how this series is going to unfold. We could be headed to a 7-5 yet again, but Eternity need points, and they need 3 on the attack, which is not going to be easy if they don't have the economy to do it. So this round, with a full buy here on their side, really is going to determine if they're going to be able to get those extra 3 points they need to win this map.
Yeah, I mean, things are looking really good, I think, for Indomitable right now. Those first two rounds on the first half, I think are going to pay off big. We saw, I talk about how much Fly enjoys this map, and you saw in the first half on defense how he's able to run around, peek out these doorways on the outside, kill people from above before they even get inside, and give his team that advantage. Here on the attack, it's a little bit more difficult for him to run around with that sort of freedom. So it's going to be tough, but again, I still believe they have the potential to steal a couple rounds. This is one of their best maps, and I'd like to see them at least tie things up 5-5.
And it could certainly happen.
Would be. Go ahead.
As we see Fly making entry all the way upstairs by storage right now. Sites are once again bottom floor pump and workshop. We actually haven't seen that cafeteria kitchen combination of sites yet, as Crimson finding Fly, and again we're seeing these roamers. And I almost wonder, maybe the play here is to push, one of those sites just from the exterior wall and just kind of full send it into the site.
Yeah, there's got to be some trick, something to do that's going to get them back into this, because there is what they need, a refrag to tie this thing up, get things back even into a 4-4. They have not found any really big picks like that, and so finally they do connect with one, and now Juice here battling their way. They do go down early. Crimson with a vital kill here on the swing. They'll get quickly refrag, but they take out a lead fragger for Eternity.
And it's a 3 versus 3 here with 2 minutes left to go on the clock. Pennypacker over by Green Engine right now. Yeah, Crimson definitely made a very, very big play there, taking out both Fly and Juice. And that was a pretty devastating, set of kills for Eternity right here. Dr. Chert waiting over in Red Engine right now. And Eternity, they're looking for a move to make here, but it's definitely going to be tough to push in. They've got, Red Engine sealed off. They've got somebody shooting through the wall at them. And they're kind of stuck here at the moment. Pennypacker picking up that EMP, just rotating over to that breach. It's the Ace finding the kill on the Arc. And Indomitable can't really afford to lose too many rounds here. If they lose this, the economy may come back to haunt them later on. Pennypacker was able to get the EMP on the wall, but wasn't able to get it planted. The Ace finding Frostbite, picking up another kill for Eternity as the EMP has just been planted. It's down to Dr. Turret now to 1v3 this.
Definitely going to be tough. They've done some good damage to the HP bars of Penny and Ace, but Ace has a health syringe, so they'll be able to heal right back up. Penny stays low at 22 HP, but it's 3 rifles in the hands of this now defending, attacking squad as they hold down that EMP plant and hope to put another point on the board. And actually, technically, the first point of the board on the attacking set. They haven't managed to get point since they've been defending, so this would be a vital start to, again, that 3-point climb that they're going to need to make to take this map and take this series.
Yeah, again, they did build up, there's 2 rounds at the beginning, so they can afford to lose probably one of these at this point. But if it gets pushed into that situation where it's a tie in the second map, then it would be very, very difficult for Indomitable to bring this back at this point. I don't know. We're seeing 5 rounds from Eternity against Indomitable. At this point, Phil, what do you think Indomitable has to do to stay ahead of the game here?
Well, I mean, they're on the defense. All they really got to do is knuckle down, win their gunfights. I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. You saw that round. Crimson popped off with 2 very important initial kills onto to Fly and to Juice, 2 of the top fraggers. And this is what I mean with this Eternity squad. They have so much talent that even a man down with 2 of their top frags dropping early, they were able to take that round. They were able to do what Indomitable were not able to do in the first half and win on attacking side a full gun round. So it just goes to show you how important winning that first pistol really was for Indomitable and how much it's paying off, because despite what Eternity just did, they're still poised to potentially they're still in the running. They just need to hold it down on defense to win all of their gunfights, not just chisel what's the word? Tighten up all the chinks in the armor and hold out.
Yeah, and a quick time to shout out everyone tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action here today. We've had a ton of folks stopping by and tuning in. We really do appreciate your support. And again, please do hit that thumbs up button. Please do hit that subscribe button if you're new. We've had tons of new people joining in the lead up to this postseason. We love to see all the new faces enjoying what is the best of the best here, duking it out at the end of season 1. You can still join season 2 right around the corner here if you do want to get involved. You can start practicing now and start playing with a group of guys so you can make your own team.
Oh yeah, this season 2 will be very, very fun. I'm especially looking forward to the beginning of it. I love to see all the new teams, pouring in and who is going to stand out at the beginning of the second season. But not there quite yet, as we still have the postseason here for season 1, and what a postseason it's been. You really get to see the pinnacle of breachers here in these final few weeks of the postseason. I mean, yeah, you get to see all the rookie teams at the beginning, but this is where you see the battle-hardened veterans, duking it out here in these final games. So we see Foam on the kitchen hatch, Arc waiting over in kitchen right now. 1:50 left on the clock. Eternity have taken their time with this push. It could pay off, or it could come back to haunt them a little bit later on. We see a drone as they're just being very thorough, looking for those roamers. Crimson will take out that drone as there's 1.5 minutes left on the clock right now. Fly over by Cafeteria, Juice, Proxy, Pennypacker, all over by Kitchen. Frostbite is over on the blue stairs right now. May swing Proxy and Juice. It's about to happen as Frostbite looking for one, but Juice saves Proxy, and Frostbite just waited a little bit too long there, and it ended up working in favor for Eternity.
It's all about the timing in a game like Breachers, and that timing goes the way of Eternity on the attack. A vital round for them. The next 2 could be it for this team. They could be advancing to the semis. They can execute here. Dr. Turd executes Pennypacker with a grenade, and it's going to be up to Juice to lead the charge here. Proxy tosses a nice one down range, forces some rotations, hopefully, as Proxy and Juice swing the open gap in the wall. They need to pick up that EMP as Proxy gets rid of Crimson on B site and then push it towards into that B site. They have fully cleared out now. Here comes the rotation. There's the plant. Juice on the cover, and Proxy punching in the code to get them a EMP plant and a defensive hold. Arc finds one refrag. We're into a 3v3.
Look at that hatch play, and what was even better was the flick from Arc to take out the hatch player there from Eternity. Dr. Turt finding Juice, dropping a second kill as it's just down to Fly right now. Fly dropping Dan Katana as Dr. Turt looking for the refrag. It's a pre-fire as Fly taking out Dr. Turt. Make 1v1 clutches as Arc looking to stick. The EMP pros don't fake, but Arc does. Looking to fake it again. There's only one more charge left, but Fly swinging out on the last second as Eternity secure match point of map 2. All they need now is one more round, and they can oust Indomitable in this tournament and move on to the semifinals.
What a absolute battle we are tuning into here today, Phil. It is Eternity stepping up when the pressure is on the line, when that prize pool is within their grasp, when they just need these last few points to get there. They're winning these rounds, and man, momentum feels to be in Eternity's favor right now.
This is exactly why we love this game, for moments exactly like that. I mean, my heart is pounding, and I'm just watching. I can only imagine the two players in that 1v1, how much adrenaline is pumping through their veins. I mean, in Eternity are here. They're now knocking on the door. They've got 6 on the board. If there's 2 rounds remaining, this is it. You got 2 more chances to seal the deal right here and go straight on to the semifinals. And meanwhile, Indo's back's against the wall. They have to take both of these rounds just to bring us to a map 3 decider. And it's looking pretty tough right now. Eternity are starting to roll, and looking at the money, you got Crimson. Crimson and Arc are pistoled up right now.
To add on to what Phil was saying, apologies for interrupting you there. I mean, if they tie up this map, and then they'd have to go to a third map and then win that one. And then they'd have to go to a fourth map to decide that and then win that one. So at this point, Indomitable has a lot of work if they want to just stay in this tournament and then, go against Acer next week in the semifinals. The Ace finding the kill on Frostbite as we see a 5 versus 4 right now. Eternity off to a good start. They're looking to wrap things up in this round, and they could potentially do that right now as we see a drone over in Helm. That's going to mark Dr. Turt. I think it's spotted Dr. Turt a little bit there as we see 2 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. What could happen in this round?
They just need to lock it in to get themselves an advancement onto the semifinals. And it looks like a botched smoke grenade there is going to deny Dr. Turt any vision over the objective. Maybe it was an intentional smoke grenade to deny their enemy vision. As Dr. Turt's here on the short corner, Proxy finds the kill. Arc and Crimson on the retake, and they're battling over A site. It's the all-out brawl here as Eternity are pushing in. Proxy scoops up another. Crimson and Arc are alone in a 2v3. Make it a 2v2. Make it a 2v1. And Arc has to clutch this up for their team to keep them alive.
There's a minute and a half left on the clock as Arc finds one on Fly. Arc dropping a double kill, and Indomitable are still in it. They're now 1 round off of tying this up. Phil, can you believe what you're seeing right now?
Again, I love it. This is it. I mean, it almost was over right there. Arc had to step up with a massive 1v2 clutch, finds the kill onto Fly, swings out, pings another headshot. It's beautiful. The show goes on. The final round. We're here, round number 12. Who's going to walk away? Are we going to a map 3 decider, or Eternity going to close it out right now? I'm on the edge of my seat. I hope you guys are enjoying. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hype is at an all-time. This is peak Breachers right here.
This is peak Preachers, and we're not even in the finals. This is just the top 8 elimination. We've got more action left ahead of us tomorrow, which starts at 7:30 a.m. PST with a pre-show for those games. And then again, NA tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. PST with a pre-show and more games. Next weekend is the semis and finals. And then Season 1 is wrapped and finished. So we still got plenty of action left, even after this game wraps here this afternoon. And like Phil said, we could be headed to a Map 3 decider. If Indo have anything to say about it, Eternity are hurting on their economy with only 3 rifles, 2 pistols. They're just barely getting kits together to try and push in and get another round on the board against a fully kitted, Indomitable defense with, I guess, an RCP in one hand, but still a well-geared defense ready to go with door blockers and utility out and holding their objectives down.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this Nightfire, we see both sides scraping. They are scraping every last drop of money they have to afford utility, weapons. I mean, Indomitable has 3 players who have $0 left over in their economy. So it's definitely going to be very, very close. And this round is going to decide, whether we see a map 3 or not. We've got foam already on the cafeteria wall as in Eternity are spreading pretty far out. They're heading over back to the bunks as Crimson on the other side of the infirmary wall, actually just tucking, waiting for that breach from Eternity. And there it is as Crimson dropping 1. Looks to pick up a second, but will be refragged by the Ace. And Pennypacker is going to secure that Vezin. This could be bad for Eternity, but Dr. Turt finding the kill on Proxy. And there you see Dr. Church just rotating back across the 3rd floor. This is a good start from Indomitable. They could potentially tie this up on this second map right now.
It is such a back and forth, so close here as Penny, Fly, and Ace need to work together to make some magic happen for Eternity. They are down a player and up a round. About to get flanked if they're not too careful. If they wait too long, they could get pinched from the side by either Dr. Turd or Arc. And so they don't want to stack up and sit around for too long as they get the foam down and then start their rotation back towards the objective. There's a good nade toss that forces Penny forward. It ends in a 1-for-1. And now a 1-for-2. Eternity left with just a fly on the wall, hoping to make this clutch and get them the series win.
I see what you did there. It's a very close, oh my goodness, a very close battle right here. Fly's being tagged through the wall, gets the heal up, has to 1v3 clutch this. There's less than a minute, so you can't stop advancing. And Dan Katana finding the kill on Fly. And look at this, Indomitable have tied it up in map 2. We're going to see a 3rd map, and if Indomitable win that, we'll see a 4th map.
They have to win. They cannot tie map 4. They cannot lose map 3. Excuse me. They cannot tie map 3. They cannot lose map 3. If they do, they will be out of this series and out of contention this afternoon for a chance at advancing on. But with a win here, they have secured their chance at pushing forward to a semifinals appearance. It's just, it's not over just yet. 1 map into the hands of Eternity, 1 map into the hands of Indomitable. And where does map 3 take us, Phil? How does it shake out? The questions on everyone's mind that's in this lobby, including all the players.
Yeah, I'm so excited that the show goes on here. I mean, what a great matchup we're seeing. It's so back and forth. This is so hype. I mean, it's all the money's on, all the marbles are on the line. We're deep into the playoffs. I mean, it's only the first round, but $10,000 in cash and prize. You could tell how bad both of these teams want this, and I'm excited to see where the map goes. If I had to, man, what do we got left? Is Arctic in the rotation yet, or are we waiting for season 2 for that? Not yet. Okay, so Arctic's out. So it's either Skyscraper or Hideout at this point, really.
And it looks like it's going to be Skyscraper. Let's take a look at the map data, the matchup data here really quick. Looks like better map. Ooh, Skyscraper favors Eternity. They've played 73 rounds there. They've won 55% of those. Oh, Indomitable have played 83 rounds there. They've won 54% of those. So this one could go either way.
Well, and I got to correct myself. I said Indomitable won map 2. They tied map 2. I forgot. I blanked out on the score. So it is, again, map 1, 2, Eternity 7-5, map 2 tied. Map 3, all Eternity need to do is either tie or win, and they've got themselves a series victory. We are headed into that 3rd map now as we dive into Skyscraper. Get your thoughts here on the start of this. We're here, round 1 on Skyscraper, Eternity on the defense, Indomitable on the attack. Where do you see this going in the pistol round?
I think it's going to be a similar story. I mean, the pistol round is just as crucial here, if not more so, than it is on ship. About the same, very heavily defensive-sided map. So if Indomitable can steal away this pistol and stream it into 2 rounds on the attack, we saw how crucial that was on ship. you know, it's going to be just as important. And I think Eternity really want to, they didn't win a single pistol on that last map. So I think they really want to lock one down right here.
We're into the action, Bob. We are starting the first round of map 3, our series decider unfolding in front of our eyes for the last map of the NA Top 8 Day 1.
Here comes the drone into lobby lounges. Dan Katana picking up a very nice kill on Pennypacker. Arc on the move, taking out Juice as Proxy will refrag Arc with a frag. We see Ace dropping Dan Katana as there's 2 minutes 20 left on the clock, and it's already down to a 3 versus 3. Fly on the flank over there in lobby. A lot of tongue twisters here so far as Frostbite picking up some damage. It looks like through the conference wall. 2 minutes 10 left on the clock, and Indomitable, they're in a pretty tricky spot so far. They're in danger of getting flanked right now by Fly.
I'm seeing in chat, I gotta focus to watch this map. This is pretty crazy. Yeah, you definitely do. It is a absolutely edge of your seat battle that's unfolding this afternoon as we trade back and forth in the outside lobby to cut us down to a 1v2.
And it's down to the Ace right now, the last member of Eternity standing in this pistol round. It's like Nightfire said, I mean, they wanted to win this pistol round. They haven't won one once. But, oh my goodness, we see the Ace picking up the kill on Dr. Turdy. It could still happen. The EMP has been planted. But look at this, the Ace is down to 1 health. So Ace can't get tagged even once. But Crimson waiting right on that EMP. And at this point, unless the Ace catches Crimson off guard, oh my goodness, peeking through the partition there. That's a smart play. What won't work out for the Ace, though, as Crimson just staying behind that partition, obscuring the line of sight from the Ace. Swinging out, finding the kill on the Ace as Indomitable taking the lead here. And on, you know, a map that it seems like everybody agrees is very defense-sided. Again, we see Indomitable picking up a round on the offense, and this could help them later on.
Yeah, it is just a pistol round. They do now go into the second round with an advantage, but Phil, they are off to the perfect start on the attacking side on Skyscraper.
Yeah, it's almost like deja vu here, and I think you're going to see a similar play to what we saw on Ship. If they have enough money to actually buy up 4 Vezins here, but I think 3, like they did last time, is a good call because you take that momentum, you guarantee a second round on the attack on Skyscraper, where we know attacking rounds can be so hard to steal away. But it looks like, I don't know, it depends if Turt buys up or not. Either way, what a great round to start things off. I just want to say, you know, something I'm looking for in the meta that hasn't picked up yet is for the support players for these teams to not upgrade their pistol and just buy 2 stims. We don't see any stims coming out, and the Ace there having to try to clutch up with 1 health is so rough. If you see one support player on your team saves that Jesper, buys 2 heals for the team, it's very likely they're going to be able to pick up an upgraded pistol at some point anyway. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
The theory crafting definitely worth doing, and I mean, imagine doing it on one of these teams live, Phil, having to calculate what you do, how you play, what your buys are. You know, it's there's a lot that goes into the high-level competitive end of this game that does kind of go under the radar when you're just sitting in watching the action unfold round after round, just like we are as we get back into it and the push comes in from Indomitable.
I am just loving these S-tier frags as we see Arc taking out the Ace, and look at this coordinated Indomitable push. Another amazing frag, this time from Eternity. Not quite finding anyone, though, as we see Dan Katana foaming that wall into mixing. Arc will find the kill on Juice. Proxy's waiting over in site A right now as Crimson makes entry, flicking onto Proxy. Very nice kill there from Indomitable. Pennypacker looking to find a kill on Arc, almost secures that, but Arc will find the kill on Pennypacker. Instead, it's just down to Fly, the last remaining player from Eternity, up right now, 2 minutes on the clock, and they got blitzed by Indomitable this round. It's really, really worked out for them, and I mean, they can keep up this momentum. Now, next round, Eternity are going to have those Vezins, so we could see a change in the pace of this game right now, but Fly finding the kill on Frostbite right now. The EMP has been planted, and Fly almost getting tagged by the Vezin of Crimson, like twice there on both sides, as we see Fly taking out Crimson, and it's a 1 versus 2 right now. If Fly can recover a Vezin, the chances of them clutching it up this round are drastically improving, but Dan Katana with a very, very nice flank to secure the round for Indomitable.
Dan had been trying to flank for so long. You could see shots coming just over the shoulder of Fly that entire time they were bouncing there on that corner. But still, damage done on the eco round. Not too bad, Phil. They were able to come in here with a little extra cash in the pocket.
Yeah, definitely not a bad result there, but Indomitable did exactly what they needed to do. They got to be feeling happy about that as well. They've got 2 rounds on the board now on the attack. That's a lot of breathing room on a map like Skyscraper. So it gives them a lot of confidence moving forward, and it puts a lot of pressure on Eternity to not only cleanly finish out the rest of this first half and kind of, this next round becomes extra important for them to not let the map slip away from them so early on. And actually looking at the money, are they missing? Oh, they're both just getting attachments. Does Pennypacker not have a gun here? That could be trouble.
They are going to be down a full rifle here, so it's going to be 4 rifles on the side of Eternity with 1 pistol. That pistol user will likely put attachments and other things onto the rifles of the Eternity teammates. It's pretty standard teamwork and coordination that you see on the economy side at this high level, but will it be enough is the big question. 4 rifles against the 5 fully kitted of Indomitable.
We see Dan Katana, Frostbite, Dr. Turt all stacking right outside a bathroom right now. If they decide to push in through that window, that trip mine, that double trip mine may hurt them a lot if they aren't careful about. Okay, they've droned it, so surely they've seen them at that point. We see 2.5 minutes left on the clock as Proxy looking at that window, trying to find these Indomitable players. They've done an excellent job so far of building that momentum on the offense. It's Arc finding the kill on Pennypacker, Fly finding Crimson. And it's now a 4 versus 4 as Proxy is just cornered in bathroom, has nowhere to go. Will go down to Dr. Turtis. Ace finding the refrag. On to Frostbite. Juice finds Dr. Turtis. Now a 3 versus 2. Indomitable looking very nice at the beginning of this are now, down in players against Eternity. Arc finding some damage on both Juice and Fly as the Ace still over on the flank right now. And there's a minute 50 left on the clock. Plenty of time for Indomitable to make a move here. Fly now on the other side of the partition as the Ace finds the kill on Dan Katana, and Fly with a very nice and coordinated swing, taking out Arc and securing the round for Eternity, putting them on the board.
Just took a little time, Phil, but they finally managed to get one on the board on defense. And is this the start of the 4-2, or is Indo going to keep putting some more on?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that I'm as confident in Eternity starting the steamroll here. They're ready to a 4-2, which is what I think they're shooting for. But, I mean, the pressure Indomitable is putting on them right now is pretty impressive. I mean, the way they coordinatedly attacked into the bathroom there. I mean, honestly, the Ace getting a huge wallbang headshot onto, I forget, it was Dan Katana, I think, or Frostbite. Either way, it's little things like that are making the difference here in these rounds. So that round definitely was not as clean as we've seen some of the other rounds from Eternity. Indomitable are not going to make it easy for them.
Yeah, going to be tough. And again, no easy wins. As you see, they can't get their audio transmitter to stick where they want it. They finally get it underneath that little awning there. Going to force a push out to get rid of it. And a pretty solid spot to detect anyone advancing out from those stairs. Again, utility is key on the defensive side as Indo are going to be pushing in towards what seems to be B site.
Yeah, we see currently, it looked like Dr. Turret and Crimson might go through the south stairs, but right now there's a vent that looks more appealing to them. There's Proxy just waiting over in server right now. Pennypacker tucking in red room right now. Could find a kill on Frostbite if Indomitable aren't careful about this. Now, Crimson actually picking up some damage there from Proxy. Turt over on south stairs. We see, I mean, we've got 2 over on 3 now moving over to north side, 2 on the south side. It could go either way as Pennypacker finds Frostbite, and you see the value of that tuck there in the red room. They thought Proxy was the only person in there. Proxy finding the kill on Dr. Turt, and that drone, I mean, I don't know, if your drone got destroyed that early, I think that's an indication to me you probably shouldn't push that side as Juice finding the kill on Crimson. Whoa, we saw an immediate set of kills there by Eternity as they bring it back and tie up this game.
Very quick round, in full control, 4 pulling through with their rifles and investment into the next round. They definitely have the economy in their hands now, Phil, and the momentum starting to run into that 4-2 possibility more and more.
Yeah, yes, I think now they do have firm control. That was a very clean round from Eternity. Everything went well. It seemed like Indomitable didn't have as clear of an attacking idea and weren't able to get really any foothold of any map control at all there. And really, He saw Dr. Turret trying to force a play through the vents in a bad situation. They didn't really get any good gunfights there. They managed to scrape 1 kill on the board, but yeah, now Eternity are looking solid. They got the money banked up. They've got the momentum in their favor. Everybody's probably feeling pretty good. Indo's going to be broke going into this next round, so it's likely going to be a 4-2, or at the very least 3-3, but I think we're on our track for a 4-2.
Momentum definitely again in their hands right now, but will it be enough? That's the big question that has been the big question. Indomitable has certainly shown that they have enough to compete against adversity, fight even when they're down in the economy. We're seeing a partial investment in a rifle and a Cadillo. It means that they want to make some magic happen, and Crimson does just that with the first rifle kill or pistol kill on the Juice. Down goes Fly. Suddenly there's a 3v5 in the favor, making it 2v5 in favor of Indo.
I said this earlier, but it's always the eco rounds where you see the biggest surprises. Dan Katana taking out Pennypacker as it's now just down to Proxy. And look at how quickly the momentum has shifted in favor of Indomitable. Look at this. They've got 4 Vezins now and a Cadillo. Frostbite's on 1 health right now. But, whoa, look at this. A double kill from Proxy. Almost a triple as Crimson will quickly secure that refrag, but this has definitely worked out in favor of Indomitable in this round.
Yeah, it really has. They have the lead. Maybe they're headed for the 4-3, Phil, because dang, that just completely switched things up into their favor.
I mean, luckily Eternity won that previous round so confidently, dominantly, that they have a bunch of extra money in the bank. They're going to be able to get a full buy here. But yeah, I mean, I was watching the whole time avidly on the edge of my seat, and I still don't know what happened. It was just instantly a 1v5 in like the first 30 seconds of the round. So, very change of pace there from Indomitable. The round before, they didn't seem to really have a clear attacking idea. This time, they full sent it. Like I was talking about in the previous match, they needed to, they're doing what I wanted to see from them. They're more committing to their attacking ideas, and instead of just standing at the door, they blasted right through at that time, and it paid off. And now, the worst they can do is a 3-3.
Into the action we go, Bob, for round number 6 of this third map of the afternoon. If you're just tuning in, map 1 went 7-5 in favor of
Eternity.
Oh gosh, I'm blanking on the scores. Eternity. Now we go 6-6 map 2, and here we are 3-2 in favor of Indomitable.
Yeah, we see Frostbite, Dr. Turret all out in Courtyard at the moment. Pennypacker up by North Stairs. As we see, Indomitable are just being very thorough with this round. They've done an excellent job of picking up a 3rd round here on offense. Again, on a map where it's considered very defense-sided, to pick up 3 rounds on the offense is giving them a very unprecedented advantage heading into this second half. They're giving themselves a lot of room for error. But, I mean, they could continue to press this. If they go 4-2 into the second half, that would be probably the best case scenario for Indomitable right now, and could put them on pace for a 4th map. But again, that's quite a way into the future. Look at that frag! Dr. Turd finding the ace. What a frag thrown by Dr. Turd. Juice looking for some shots through that partition as he Indomitable on the move. Fly pushing up to the breach right there. Crimson just on that window. With some suppressive fire for the rest of Indomitable. They're going to take out that proximity alarm. As Juice still in the back, Fly finding that kill on Crimson. There's a minute and a half left on the clock, and there hasn't been, a moment without a ton of action in this map.
A brawl all out across the battlefield here as finally a kill comes in from Dr. Turd. It had been a while, a lot of back and forth. No one had connected. There's a bit of back and forth that puts us into a 2v3. The push out of the door blocker. 1, 2. There's the 3rd. No, they missed the shots. They pop back up, and they have support on the backside to clutch it up. And it's a round into their hands for Eternity. Tied 3-3, but just barely.
Phil, can you believe that swing from Fly?
That was awesome. That 3rd kill didn't come through, so tragic. I feel like he earned the 3K there, but these rounds are scrappy. These guys are just throwing it all out on the line, and I love to see it. I mean, tied 3-3. I'm sure Eternity aren't super satisfied with those results, but this is it. I mean, we talked about the last 3 pistols in a row at least have gone the way of Indomitable. Eternity really need to find their first pistol round right here, right now to get back into this map, or I think we might be headed for map 4.
anyone's game here. Seriously, in this third map, it really could be a clean tie all the way down to rounds if we go to 5-5, 7-5 potential. That's on the table this afternoon, but Eternity, yeah, this is the start. They need the pistol round. They really do. They're going to have a hard time without it. I say need, knowing that, frankly, they could fight at any time against Indo on the attack, just like Indo did. So I think truly we're headed for maybe a 6-6, and if we do, then that means that Eternity win, and we do not have that fourth map.
Yeah, it really could go either way at this point. I mean, yeah, it all comes down to the pistol round. As Knight has pointed out here, we see 2 minutes 40 on the clock. Start of the round as Eternity making their move. The ace over on South Stairs at the moment. Penny Packer Proxy just up on the roof at the moment. Oh, no, wait, they're going into the vent. Tossing a frag into the server room. Nobody from Indomitable is there. And this could be, they're giving up a lot of real estate to Eternity very early into the round. Penny Packer with the foam on that on the server wall into broadcast as Arc tossing a frag out. Fly will find the kill on Crimson, and it's a 5 versus 4. This isn't an ideal start for Indomitable. It can still be brought back though.
Yeah, it certainly can. We'll have to see. Just one down doesn't mean the end of the world, but it depends on what the push looks like for Eternity. We do know that there is a setup here on the outside of server room that does seem to be the play as everyone gets ready to move in and push up to Dr. Turt's position, who's holding down that ultimate cross towards objective. They do see one. They'll peek out, and they'll find more than they bargained for. They almost go down, but stay alive as they peek in here, and the EMP plant does go down.
Penny Packer able to get that EMP off as a frag will go off, injuring 3 of those Eternity players. Proxy finding the kill on Dr. Turtis. Penny Packer picks up Dan Katana. Penny Packer with the double kill onto Arc. Frostbite finding one, looking for a second kill, possibly on Proxy, but will go down to the ace. And look at this, Eternity have won their pistol round, and this is a good time to win it. This could potentially give them some Vezins. And, I mean, honestly, if they play this right, they could push to a tie. And as we all know, if they tie up this map, it's going to be a win for Eternity.
Indeed, and we do know that there may be some tech difficulties coming through right now. We do apologize for those. It seems simply an internet issue, which I don't think we have any control over. It's either on YouTube's end or some network issue on Bob's end, but I do hope the stream is still at least live to some capacity. At the very least, you can let it buffer and go back, watch the VOD when it does come out after this. But for now, please bear with any sort of lag you do experience, and yeah, do just, I guess, buffer a little bit longer so that you don't have to endure through any of those issues, because yeah, it is so far great action, and Eternity are on the cusp of pushing up, taking a few more rounds and locking this thing in.
2 rounds away. What a way to win the first pistol, by the way. 4 strong left alive at the end of the round. Beautiful stuff from Eternity there.
Here we go into the action, round number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coming up here as Eternity push their way in, full kits in hand, getting ready to make their move towards a site, taking a little bit of a detour, a little bit of a longer route to make sure there's no roaming or lingering Indomitable defenders. They're even putting a drone through here to really make sure nobody's holding down the server room, and it's not going to be until they clear all of that space out that they then push in towards the objective and are confident enough to move without their bats exposed. So smart play, making sure that everything's pretty standard and know there aren't any roamers, because very often on a map like Skyscraper, you will see roamers waiting on in the corner to find some kills.
Yeah, we see 2 minutes on the clock right now as Eternity getting ready to push into the upper north hallway here. Indomitable have got to get this round and this game under control quickly, but these 2 round 2 Vezins from Eternity are going to make that very, very difficult. We see 1:50 left on the clock. Eternity have been taking their time with this push, being very thorough for roamers, and Proxy just found Crimson. It's now a 4 versus 5 as Proxy finding Frostbite. Very nice catch area. The ace will take out Dr. Turtis. It's now a 5 versus 2. It's falling apart for Indomitable here as the ace will find Dan Katana. He pulled a Heyne there as we see Arc looking for another kill, finding the kill on the ace. A minute 20 on the clock. We see a frag tossed down the storage hallway, and the EMP's just been planted. It's down to Arc right now, and things aren't looking good for Eternity.
They certainly aren't. One down. No, they are looking good. One down left with Indo. Eternity. Maybe you said R. I heard aren't. But things are looking good for Eternity here. They'll find the final kill, and Penny Packer puts their team up 5-3, 2 points away from locking this thing in and advancing on to the semifinals. They just need the win here. A tie even. It gets them the victory they need. So really, Gib, they just need one more point to lock in themselves guaranteed advancement to the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting close here. Eternity, they could win this here, and that would give them that tie. So it's gonna be a close game no matter which way you look at it. Indomitable, looking to, bring this back. They're scraping at this point, just trying to get as many Vezins together as they can. They need some utility here to try and bring this back, but it's looking like it's going to be in Eternity's favor. I mean, Phil, at this point, what do you think Indomitable needs to do here?
They just need to win. All they need to do is win, no matter what. It is series point for Eternity, 1 round away from cinching this entire series. So Indomitable just has to knuckle down and win the rest of the rounds. It's that simple.
Certainly is, as they do get ready to push in here. 5-3. Eternity just want to lock this up as they swing in here and push towards B site. They're going to open up this hatch and be ready to push into B quickly. They do worry, or have to worry, about Dr. Turret, but not anymore, as they get absolutely obliterated there in the corner, and B site's opening up.
Yeah, already we see a quick pick from Eternity onto Dr. Turret. This is not good for Indomitable at all. They do still have 4 Vezins up, but Eternity are stacked with the utility right now. We've seen Indomitable clutch up once. Crimson finding the kill on Juice. We saw Arc bring it back when it seemed like it was going to be an Eternity win on the previous map. And Indomitable have done such an excellent job so far. I think everybody here would want to see a 4th map between these teams, but Eternity definitely trying to prevent that from happening. And
ready to push in. 2 minutes left on the clock here as Eternity have the kill advantage now as Proxy finds Dan Katana. Arc is pushing up, getting aggressive looking, and on the hunt goes Crimson. They fly outside to catch a kill. Arc scoops up another, and it's a duo left on Eternity in a 2v3.
Look at how quickly they brought this back as Crimson finds the kill on Fly. They absolutely can still win this, but we do see a minute 20 left on the clock right now, and this is big for Eternity, for Indomitable. It's just down to the ace here. It can happen. I mean, the ace does have a cloaking device, but there's a minute left on the clock. Ace doesn't have possession of the EMP. It's looking like it's going to be a tough push here for Eternity.
Yeah, gonna be a hard one. I do wonder, maybe an eco will be in order too. Maybe they'll hold on to that rifle, carry it through to their next round, because they just need 2 rounds. They don't need to get too carried away and extend down here to go for the hunt, give away a rifle in hand, and 2,900, just kind of throw it out into the garbage, because they have plenty of money, I suppose, but ultimately not really enough to let them be able to buy everything back. Well, maybe. Juice and Proxy have ecoed pretty well, so they certainly do have something to save, but I do think this is going to be the ace just holding here on the top floor for the rest of the round.
Yeah, I mean, Phil, with the win that Indomitable are going to pick up here, what are your predictions for the rest of this game? Oh my goodness, no way, look at that! Crimson taking out the ace! Oh, all the way over from Bathroom, and it's a 4 versus 5 game. Indomitable, 1 round off of tying this up.
man, wild. Crimson finding another timing to push outside the map and seal that away. I mean, Indo, they're doing what they need to do, but remember, Eternity takes 6 rounds. The series is theirs, so they're really back against the wall. That means there are 3 rounds remaining in this map, and Indo have to win all 3 of them. Eternity are going to get 3 chances to seal the deal. They've got plenty of money, like you said, to buy up this round. They may have to save next round if they lose, and they're going to get another full buy round to finish this out. So it's tough. I mean, all Indo are doing what they need to do. They're winning their gunfights. They're locking it down. They're getting aggressive. They're making plays. They're not letting Eternity get the map control and get a foothold in the map. They're checking all the boxes. They just really got to be careful not to make any mistakes at this point, I guess.
Gonna be tough, to say the least, for a team not to make any mistakes going up against a powerhouse that is Eternity. But we'll see what they're able to do as we do get into the action for round number 10.
Here we go, starting things off, and what I mean, it's again, it could be the final round in the series as we see Eternity again.
2 tied maps in an epic playoffs
advancement onto the semis
right.
with that win. Eternity are going to beat out Indomitable. Of course, we'll still watch the end of this matchup, but I mean, it's been a really, really great matchup here. And Phil, what are your thoughts?
I'm so stoked. I mean, my prediction came through. All bias aside, though, I'm just glad we had such an amazing series to watch here today. That second map going straight down to the wire. Even in the third one, I mean, it's a bit exhibitionary, but I still feel Indomitable poised to possibly tie this map. So having 2 tied maps in an epic playoff series, these are the days that we live for as a Breachers fan.
It really is. This is why you tune into the postseason. We're happy to have it live here. Happy to have everyone tuning in. And, well, I mean, shoot, we almost went through this whole one without tech difficulties, Bob. But whether it's YouTube or something on your end, I have no idea. I think it's YouTube. This is what we're going to chalk it up to, which we do not appreciate but can't control. So we are just going to keep on soldiering ahead. The VOD should be fine without any of the issues, so you can go back and watch it cleanly once we're finished with the stream here. But just like being finished, Eternity need to finish things off here with one more round to wrap this up. Like you said, a tie still means they cannot win, and Arc maybe recognizing this as the riskless opportunity, flies out the window, catches multiple kills, and Pennypacker's alone in a 1v5. I think both teams realize the situation.
Yeah,
would be my guess based on how that round was played.
Yeah, apologies for the technical difficulties really quick, but yeah, I wonder if, I don't know, I think Indomitable may have, you know, they might have felt that pressure, because you see that level of aggression from Arc, who dropped like 4 kills in that round alone just by, you know, full sending it out the window. And you got, I mean, if Indomitable had used those kind of aggressive strategies on Eternity instead of trying to, you know, use their usual approach, I wonder if they might have been able to find those last rounds on them.
It did net them a couple round wins. Yeah, that's what was working for them earlier on in this half as well. Some of those aggressive plays, Crimson vaulting out the window and finding some cheeky kills. Those are the types of plays that can really make a difference. It's make or break, right? Because if you pull it off and you get a big multi-kill, it's huge. You get a 1-for-1, it's okay. But if you just die, it's like, oh, what was I thinking? Right. You know, so it's very results oriented. And so far, the aggressive plays for Indo have been paying off.
Yeah, they certainly have. They may pay off again here going into our final round of the afternoon, the final round of the day, but not the final round of the weekend. We have more broadcasts live tomorrow that you're going to want to catch, EU and NA, barring, of course, we have no issues going live onto YouTube after what has been occurring here to the back half of this stream. But yeah, we'll have everything hopefully sorted. No more. You're not going to guarantee tech list difficulties because, frankly, that's an impossibility. But we are certainly going to be looking forward to more action tomorrow and then next weekend, stacked full of Breachers VRML you do not want to miss. Here comes the push in as Dr. Turton Arc find kills. Everyone going down on Eternity's side as they swing in with limited resources. An Omen in the hands of Juice, who will get scooped up, and Proxy made their way into objective, caught a couple of kills, and is now here for the 1v2. Gonna get the EMP plant. Arc and Crimson rotating back. Proxy getting pinched, catches one. Crimson hasn't opened the wall, almost catches the kill through the wall. But we're into another 1v1 to wrap this up in the final round of what has been a stellar series so far today. Proxy gets killed, Crimson scoops it up. We tie 6-6, and like we've been saying, Eternity are crowned our victors and will advance on to the semifinals. Hats off to the Eternity squad for competing as well as they did today. And Phil, your final thoughts on this series that we stopped by for this afternoon.
Brilliant. I mean, Eternity are looking for. I mean, what an intense matchup. Both of these teams were contenders, and Eternity, you know, they've shown that they're here to play. They're here to win. They're going to be fighting for that $10,000 in cash and prize pools in the semifinals. I believe their next matchup is against Acer, so that's going to be the real test. Take everything they've learned, take the experience they've gained here today, and really kick it up a notch next weekend.
They have eliminated Indomitable. They are out of contention for that prizing, and yeah, Eternity advances on. Bob, your final thoughts on the match before we say goodbye and wrap things up today.
Oh man, this one has just been, it's been an amazing matchup here to watch as a cast. I mean, they were so close in skill level. I mean, we saw it could have gone either way at this point. We saw two tied maps, and Eternity, you know, they just pulled ahead at the beginning there, and ultimately it came down to that. It came down to 2 rounds, you know, in this entire matchup here, and it's just been an incredible game. And of course, you know, you got to feel for Indomitable. They played incredibly well, and they worked very hard. It didn't work out for them today, though, really, and their season is going to end with this matchup. But look at this Eternity; they're bringing it back. We were talking about their record a little earlier and how it looked shaky towards the second half of their season. But this is a good, proof. This is good proof that they're not out of this yet, and they can still bring it back.
Absolutely. A stellar battle here today, all supported by our sponsors. Those sponsors include Triangle Factory, Protube VR, VRCOVER, HyperX, and of course, Helga, the esports bot manager. We appreciate everyone that supports the VRML, whether you're a sponsor or just an individual tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by this afternoon. It's going to be it for us here today. We got to start to get ready for tomorrow because there's more of it tomorrow, so don't miss that action. But for now, we're signing off, so stay classy. Thanks for watching VRML.